play, and I think that we have to reassess our thoughts now and realize that the Devils are a very good hockey club. They knocked the Islanders off. They have a very good forechecking system, and they play well as a team. They play well as a unit, and we have to start getting back to those things ourselves.
The Washington Capitals just got to play with determination. I think we got to play with the same intensity that we had against the Flyers, and that our backs were against the wall. And you know, I think every game is important, and it doesn't matter if you're ahead 3-0 or you're down 3-0. Your backs are always against the wall in the playoffs because you have to win games.
Yeah, we said from the first, before we played the Islanders, that there was no playoff jinxes for the New Jersey Devils because we've never been here before.
Well, I certainly think our emotions will be high. You know, we're back in front of our own crowd, and they're certainly behind us 100%. And we may have to put a little handle on the emotion, not get it too high.
Emotion may be the key factor tonight in Game 3 of the Patrick Division Final. ESPN, the network of the National Hockey League, presents the road to the Stanley Cup, the oldest trophy competed for by professional athletes. The Stanley Cup playoffs, the most grueling competition both mentally and physically in all of athletics. Who will be the sole survivor come the end of May? Tonight, ESPN's Road to the Cup continues with a Patrick Division final game. Tonight, from the Brendan Byrne Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey, it's Game 3 between the Washington Capitals and the New Jersey Devils. And a pleasant good evening once again, everyone. I'm Tom Mees in our ESPN Road to the Cup studios, night number 12. The Devils and the Washington Capitals in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The Boston Bruins hosting the Montreal Canadiens tonight at the Boston Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. And up front tonight, Jean Perron, the head coach of the Montreal Canadiens, says flatly, we have to protect ourselves. He's talking tough. They have Stephen Fletcher called up from the minor leagues, their resident tough guy, and he will be in the lineup tonight. Could be a long night at the Boston Garden. Of course, they're ticked off about the injury to Stéphane Richer in Game 2. The Edmonton Oilers, in case you missed it late last night, an overtime shorthanded goal by Wayne Gretzky, win both games in Calgary. They're on a roll. They go home for Games 3 and 4, leading 2-0, and they're really in the driver's seat. Peter Klima was in the driver's seat last night in Detroit. A playoff hat trick, number 2 on the season, the first Detroit Red Wing ever to get 2 hat tricks in the same playoff season as Detroit marched over St. Louis to the tune of 6-0. The Red Wings lead the Norris Finals 2-0. But our primary focus tonight will be at the Brendan Byrne Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Game 3 of the Patrick Division Finals. The Jersey Devils and the Washington Capitals tied at 1. In Game 2, the Devils won at 5-2, and the big line of Muller, Verbeek, and Broughton broke loose for 4 of the 5 goals. Also, 162 minutes in penalties. That was quite something when you consider the previous 8 games between these teams. Not one major penalty was called for fighting. What will happen tonight? Let's go live to the Meadowlands now. Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito for a pregame preview. Guys?
Thank you, Tom, and there's a lot of emotion in this building. The fans are ready because the Devils got what they wanted on the road. They withstood the physical test of the Washington Capitals Wednesday night, and they got the split down in Washington.
Well, when you go on the road in the playoffs, you want 500. You want to win one game in the other building, and they did. And it was tremendous. They played super. You know what happened, I think, Sam? I think the Washington Capitals got the Devils mad. And emotionally, they got going again. They got on that roll that they were on just before the season ended and against the New York Islanders. And it's very hard to knock them off that roll.
So what happens now with that split? The Caps go on the defensive. They're forced to make a change to get some emotion back in their game. They go with Clint Malarchuk in goal tonight.
Well, frankly, I think that's a good move on Brian Murray's part because Malarchuk is a good goaltender. Of course, he's never won a playoff game. We understand that, but he still is a good goaltender. Now, if he wins this game tonight, maybe that trade David Poyle made, he had Hunter score the overtime goal, Malarchuk plays well here, say, boy, what a trade. Everybody will say that. But it's going to be an interesting game, but I think that the Devils have the thing going for them right now.
And what they also have going for them, as Tom mentioned, is their top line, which scored 8 points in the game on Wednesday night. Pat Verbeek, their leading goal scorer, got one. He's all over the place.
I love him. I love the way he plays. I mean, he plays very, very hard all the time, and he's full of intensity, and it rubs off on the other guys. You like guys like that on your team.
All right, so now, with the series even, let's see some of the edges now that we look at this series.
Well, edge-wise, offensively, you can see that it's pretty much of a wash. Defensively, the Devils have got it way over them. The power play, as evidenced by the last game, absolutely all over the Capitals. Penalty killing, kind of even. Intangibles, well, folks, this is the Meadowlands. This is the New Jersey Devil hometown, and I'm going to tell you, these fans have never been here before like this, and 99% of the people here tonight we'll be cheering for the Devils.
And it looks like the Cinderella story will continue for these Devils fans. We'll see what happens. Let's go back to Tom East right now.
All right, Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito, thank you very much. You're right, a crowd of over 19,000. They had standing room only in the series against the New York Islanders at the Brendan Byrne Arena. And, of course, one thing to point out about Clint Malarchuk in goal tonight for the Washington Capitals, he may not have won a playoff game in his brief tenure in the National Hockey League, just a couple of seasons, but Clint Malarchuk this year played against the New Jersey Devils 5 times. His record was 4-1. The road to the Cup continues in just a moment. We'll check in live with the opening of game number 3 of the Adams Division Finals, the Bruins and Canadiens, and then we'll be set for the Devils and the Caps.
Hi there. You looking for Mr. Right?
Give this guy a light. And Bud Light here.
Ask for Bud Light, the light beer with the first name and taste. Because everything else is just a light.
Thanks. Keep the change.
If you can dream it, you can do it. Today, the Prudential can show you a new world of financial opportunities. Look to the Rock. For mutual funds, stocks and bonds. Feel its strength in CDs, insurance and mortgages. With the right choices, the right guidance, the sky's the limit. The Prudential. Your rock in financial services.
It's no big deal.
Brake jobs?
It's MasterCare car service. Premium brake jobs. Terrific warranty.
Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. MasterCare Car Service by Firestone.
But I thought they just sold tires.
There's no power shortage in this thunderous clash of supercharged sluggers. Top-ranked Fresno State takes on the BYU Cougars. At 11:30 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Excuse me, where are you going?
To the drugstore.
How about having your prescription delivered to your front door?
I'd love that.
At Schaefer Drugs, we feel it's service to our customers that really counts. That's why Schaefer Drugs has free delivery that's fast and reliable. Plus, Schaefer Drugs offers senior citizen and co-pay discounts. Schaefer Drugs on Schaefer, just south of Warren. Dial 582-1500 for free delivery.
I'm Amelon, the Friendly Piper, and I want to tell you where you can get the best video deal in town. Pied Piper Video. Pied Piper has movies, and movies. The old classics and the new releases, all at wholesale prices. Get a free lifetime membership with 2 movie rentals and a major credit card. So whether it's oldies, new releases, action films, or westerns, Pied Piper has them all. Pied Piper Video on Warren, just west of Wyoming. We've got the best deals in town.
The Road to the Cup is being brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, who invite you to come see the full line of cars and trucks. Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice. And by Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by True Value Hardware. It's more than our name, it's our way of doing business. Welcome back to our ESPN Road to the Cup studios. In just a few minutes, we will be going live back to the Brendan Byrne Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Our primary telecast tonight, Game 3 of the Patrick Division Finals between the Washington Capitals and the New Jersey Devils. In case you're not familiar with the Devils' home starting times, they don't drop the first puck of the night until 7:45, not the customary 7:35 start. So we have a few minutes to get us to New Jersey. And while we do, we're going to check in live with the beginning of that game between the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens. Now, the Bruins, with that hard-fought win, 4-3 over Montreal in Game 2, which was seen right here on ESPN, they have tied the series up at 1, and right now the Bruins, the underdogs in this series, have home ice advantage. The series tied at 1-1. Now, you also remember in game number 2 that Michael Telvin of the Boston Bruins took a slash at Stéphane Richer of the Montreal Canadiens as he was cutting in on net, and the slashing motion of the stick caught Richer on his right thumb, broke his thumb. He is listed now as out for the season, but may be ready if the Canadiens get back to the Stanley Cup Finals. That is still in question, but he's certainly out for the rest of the series. After the game, Jean Perron, the Montreal head coach, was furious. He asked the league to take some action against Telvin. They didn't see any reason to take any special action, and so Perron says we have to protect ourselves. He even said he was going to put extra padding in the Canadiens' gloves tonight, and he called up one Stephen Fletcher from the American Hockey League Sherbrooke team. And Fletcher has been in the hockey wars 6 years, all in the minor leagues, During that time, 15 goals and over 1,500 penalty minutes. Right now, before we go to the Boston Garden for the first couple of minutes between the Canadiens and the Boston Bruins, let's take a look back in time at this Stanley Cup moment. An early day Stanley Cup game in Winnipeg saw the puck lifted up so high that it got caught in the rafters high above the ice. Now the players tossed their sticks upwards, and the one who dislodged the puck was rewarded with a standing ovation. That game, by the way, in Boston Garden tonight, a goaltending change for Jean Perron, the Montreal Canadiens. He's putting Patrick Roy in the nets. It will be Reggie Lemelin backstopping the Boston Bruins, and Lemelin held the Bruins in Game 2. He was the major reason that they pulled the win, 4-3. Lemelin faced 30 Canadian shots, and only 3 went into the net, and a couple of those in the third period as Montreal had to come back from a multi-goal deficit. Boston only had 14 shots on goal. Again, the start of the Devils and the Washington Capitals game is 7:45. You say, why 15 minutes later than usual? Well, if you worked in the New York metropolitan area and had to get home on a Friday, have dinner, and get to the hockey game, you would know why. Traffic, pure and simple, traffic congestion. They want to give every one of those 19,000-plus ticket holders a chance to get there before the first puck is dropped. So it'll be tonight, Washington and the New Jersey Devils, and then on Sunday night, we'll be in the Boston Garden for game number 4 of the Adams Division Finals, Boston and Montreal. Tomorrow night, of course, the war in Alberta continues. It'll be Game 3 between Edmonton and Calgary. Now let's check in live with the Hockey Night in Canada folks, Bob Cole, Dick Urban, and Harry Neal for the very start of the game in Boston between the Bruins and Canadiens. But don't worry, you won't miss a minute of the Devils and Caps. Let's go to Boston, gentlemen.
The officials go to center ice. Don Koharski is the referee, Ray Scapinello and Randy Mitton, the linesman for this one. Game 3 of the best of 7. Patrick Roy came on in the third period in Game 2. You knew then that Jean Perron would be starting Roy tonight. And after watching the spectacular performance turned in by Reggie Lemelin on Wednesday, it's no surprise to see him in goal for Boston again tonight. The Bruins are going to start with Casper, Burridge, and Plett, Bork, and Kluzak. Carbonell with Walter on one side, and McPhee on the other for the Canadians. Green and Ludwig are the defensemen. There's Koharski at center ice. And this game is underway. A capacity crowd at the Boston Garden, and they're expecting fireworks. Here's McPhee for Montreal coming up there. McPhee tried to go in. He slides it up behind the net. The Canadians after it. But Casper grabs it, dumped it on the boards, and got it out. Down the ice it goes. Canadians winning the first game. Bruins back to win the second. They said this could be a long series. It just might be that.
Harry, first hit of the hockey game was thrown by Mats Naslund. Well, it won't be the last one, I can assure you. 11 times Chris Chelios was decked. Here's the new tough guy on the block for Montreal, Steve Fletcher, 6'3", 205 winger from Sherbrooke. He grew up in NDG, a suburb of Montreal, and his close friend, Gord Donnelly, the tough guy with the Quebec Nordiques. In fact, Donnelly was the best man at his wedding. Yet in a preseason game, they had one of the nicer fights that the Quebec Nordiques and Montreal Canadiens have seen. So bygones are bygones when the season starts for Fletcher.
Now the Bruins with Janney and Joyce, along with Cam Neely, number 8. That's Neely going in after the puck. It's intercepted inside the line, but now Carbonell coming out. He has McPhee up there on the play. McPhee takes the pass, but he's in too far. He centered it, and the net went off the magnets as Carbonell was checked in front of Lemelin, and he ran into the goal.
P. Carbonell close to a good play there, Harry. He made the fake on the pass and then threw it over to McPhee on the right side. Not quite. I don't think Carbonell's been quite as effective in the playoffs, especially in the first 2 games of this series. Usually he saves his best play for the toughest games. And here's the play we're talking about. He slides into the goal. Carbonell played all 80 games with Montreal, and when you're a top penalty killer this year in the National League, you logged a lot of ice time. Jean Perron, more vocal about this game, the last game, than I've ever heard him. He says that Boston played their style as they know it. Headhunting and cheap shots. And O'Reilly retorted with, I cannot think of one cheap shot we gave them. We were intense and we were physical. I guess it's all in the eye of the beholder.
Bobby Smith now for the Canadians, winning the draw to the line. Chelios shot tipped near the net by Lemieux, and it went wide. Chelios upended. Here is Lindsman in for Boston. Oh, and a hard shot just off the post. Bork keeping it in. Crowder tried to center it. He's bumped on the boards. Bork intercepts. Oh, what a save by Roy. And he dumped it in behind the net. Bork driving one from just inside the blue line. The Canadians get it out. Chelios looking around. Momesso was bumped off the puck, and Bobby Smith carried on, but he had to give it away inside the Boston line. Swoboda and Chelios, the Montreal defenseman, moving up. Chelios getting the zone against Bork. Big Kluzak in there, and he was bumped by Momesso and went flying. He took a shot off the skate, and Bork played it up to Crowder. And offside, LeMay went in ahead of Crowder. Live on CBC.
Oh, the crowd is ready in Boston Garden, aren't they? But I can guarantee you they are also ready at the Meadowlands Arena in New Jersey. Game 3, Patrick Division Finals. Washington Capitals, New Jersey Devils tied at 1. Referee Dennis Burrell is ready. So are Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito.
Thank you, Tom. Sweet Knox and Wayne Bonney are the linesmen. The alternate is Paul Stewart. We're underway. The Devils open up with Muller, Verbeek, and Broughton. Curvers and Driver on defense. Sean Burke in goal. The Devils wearing the home white. Gary Galley, number 2 for Washington, pushing it in deep, and a good check on Curvers. Meanwhile, the Devils move down. Muller into the Washington zone. Slowed down by Gardner. Verbeek has it. Centers off the stick and through. Driver gets to the puck. Toward the net. Broken up in front by Scott Stevens. Kept in by the Devils. Stevens picks it up.
That's something the Devils do very well, and that's the defensemen follow up the play and get involved in the offensive part of the game very early.
Line change.
Driver did.
Sorry, Phil. Line change for Washington, starting with Gardner, Adams, and Pavanka. Here's Verbeek coming down. Galley back. Shot wide. Clint Malarchuk in goal. As Tom mentioned, during the regular season, he was 4-1 against the Devils. Nice save on a tough low shot by Pavanka. He was 3-0 here at the Meadowlands. Washington won the season series 5-2. Mealy coming down. Ledger takes the puck for Washington.
I remember watching a game here, and Malarchuk was so good that game that I couldn't believe how well the guy played, like Reggie Lemelin played the other night in Montreal.
Anders Carlson in the lineup for New Jersey tonight. And Brendan Shanahan, the rookie, takes the shot live. Second player picked in the NHL draft in 1987. A hit along the boards on Christian. Curvers is hit hard and knocked down by Hatcher. Good physical play early. Ledger takes a hit, moves the puck up the boards. Kept in by Carlson. Toward the net, hits a skate. Mealy is being tied up by Hatcher. Mealy gets a shot off that stop. Malarchuk clears it. Hatcher goes for the puck. He's hit by Belichick. Devils using the body well. Mealy has the puck. Shanahan goes over, bumps with Hatcher. In comes Ledger to clear the zone.
Do I like that Shanahan as a hockey player? I think this kid is going to be such a star in this league. He may not score a lot of goals or points.
Why? Why do you like him, Phil?
I like the way he plays. He plays with a lot of intensity, and he likes to play. I like that.
John McClain taking the long shot. Malarchuk gloves it and holds. We get a get-together early. Pushing and shoving. In the crease they go. Shanahan was knocked into Malarchuk. There was Danico there, excuse me, not Shanahan. Sundstrom, number 17 there for New Jersey. 17:52 to go. First period, there's no score.
Suddenly, there's a whole new development in sports sedans. So superior, it was voted Car of the Year in Japan. Introducing the new 89 Galant from Mitsubishi. Suddenly, the obvious choice. It's not here, or here, or here. No, Japan's Car of the Year is only at your Mitsubishi Motors dealer, and it's priced lower than the competition. The 89 Galant from Mitsubishi. Suddenly, the obvious choice.
During that melee in Clint Malarchuk's crease, Ken Danico took a penalty for roughing, so the Caps will go on the first power play of the game. Clint Malarchuk in goal for the Washington Capitals. 0-5 lifetime in the playoffs. Sean Burke You see his record in the playoffs, 4-3. During the regular season, he wound up 10-1, leading the Devils to the playoffs. Power play Washington. Ridley brings it across. He's on with Adams and Gardner. Murphy and Stevens. Stevens comes down the slot. Feet for Gardner. Deflects it wide. Near side. Stevens keeps it in for Greg Adams, number 22. He's knocked down by Sorella. Stevens has the puck. Whistle stops play. Hand pass.
You know, when you're watching the Washington Capitol power play, the key here is it's Mike Ridley. He likes to go over to the side and get by the face-off dot on the left side of the goaltender and take the one-time shot. As you see their power play percentage.
Caps with 10 power play goals scored.
16.9 is not good enough for the playoffs.
Devils penalty killing has been outstanding in the playoffs.
I think you got to get 20 to 25% efficiency in a power play.
Can you expect that high, Phil, in the playoffs when the checking is so tight and the penalty killing is keyed up? Here's Gardner moving in around the net, tries to come out in front. A whistle stops play, and Dennis Morales called a penalty. Greg Adams.
He's going to get either an interference. It is an interference call. He interfered with the goaltender, Sean Burke. Dennis Morales calls him early. Let's take a look at it. Watch Gardner put on. He does this so well. One hand on his stick, uses his body to lean, comes around, watch the left side of your screen. There is Adams. He bumps Sorella right into the goalie. And he gets a penalty for interference at 2:49.
So that wipes out the power play for Washington, which ran 41 seconds. Eventually, the Devils will wind up with a man advantage for 41 seconds. Danico went for roughing at 2:08. Adams for interference at 2:49.
So look at Brian Murray.
Tom Mees standing by in our studio. What's happening in Boston, Tom?
Well, Sam, I haven't heard the fans cheer this loud since Esposito played at the Boston Garden, as the Bruins have gotten on the board first. A loose puck at center ice, and this is Mo LeMay. He was with Edmonton last year. He's with the Bruins this year, and he scored. Patrick Roy looked weak to the glove side that time. Gave away a lot of angle. Boston won, Montreal nothing. Sam?
And they had a goal on Wednesday night. He blasted it right by Brian Hayward.
Looked like the same spot he shot from, only this time he beat him on the outside. Instead of going right through the pads, what he did with Hayward.
Team skating at 4 aside. Kirk Muller brings it in. He's bumped by Hatcher. Double teamed by Gustafson. It's out of the zone. Landon, number 6, on with Belichick, number 27. Broughton and Muller up front for New Jersey.
You know, interesting to watch Kevin Hatcher out there. He's played with Langley for ever since he came into the league. And people told me that he didn't play that well the other night. He really missed Langley. And going to be interesting to see, because against Philadelphia, Kevin Hatcher was outstanding. Here's a guy that was outstanding in Game 1, wasn't he?
Oh, super. They brought him back from Sweden after he spent last year, went back home. They coaxed him back. Strong man. He's stronger than he looks, Phil.
They coaxed him. David Paul went over there and stayed. He was telling me he stayed there for about 4 or 5 days and just constantly talked to him.
He begged him to come back.
His wife, too. That's really was, you know, they liked it in Sweden. He was making a lot of money in Sweden also.
Sure, he's making a lot of money here, too.
Yeah. Oh, to be young and playing again.
Well, you didn't starve when you were a player.
My first 2 or 3 years, I certainly did.
Danico, driver with the puck, moves it up the left side of Claude Loisel. Skating 4 aside, Devils get an extra man on in 25 seconds. Doug Brown, number 24, in the corner for New Jersey. Loisel is there now. He battles with Gary Galley. They wrestle each other down. Driver moves it ahead. Doug Brown, tied up by Scott Stevens. Stevens using his strength, but he is one of the strongest players in the league. Comes to the near side. Curvers comes in deep. It's knocked away by Galley. Curvers gets it to Loisel for the shot wide.
I believe that maybe went out the outside of the post.
Curver's shot went into the chest of Galley. Caps work it out. Devils have a man advantage for 30 seconds now. Danico rushes the puck. 15:35 to go, first period, no score. Danico sets up the power play as he dumps in. Driven around by Stevens, it's blocked. Gould tied up by Patrick Sundstrom. Gould gets away. He's had 2 shorthanded goals in the playoffs. Slides it all the way down. Burke stops it. Quickly to Joe Sorella. 8 seconds to go on the man advantage. Good play by Kelly Miller, number 10 for Washington. John McClain works his way free. Now it's Patrick Sundstrom. That's away from him. And the team's at full strength as Adams comes out, and the Devils are offside. 15:09 to go. First period, Game 3, Patrick Division final. There's no score.
With every Budweiser enjoyed, the promise endures. The promise of genuine quality. Quality you can taste. Clean, crisp, Beechwood aged Budweiser. Always certain, always satisfying. Because we know you wouldn't have it any other way. That's why this Bud's for you.
Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito live at the Meadowlands Arena. The series is even, a game apiece. There's no score, Game 3. Danico sending it in for New Jersey. Clint Malarchuk stops it for Grant Ledyard. Ledyard gets away from Brendan Shanahan, clears the zone. Danico back for it. Jeff Greenlaw, first-round draft pick of the Caps in 1985, is on the ice for the first time in this series. Penalty call as Wolanin ran into... No, excuse me. The linesman raised his hand. Wolanin rammed into Greenlaw along the board. Oh, what a save that is! Off the deflection by Francis Getty. The puck cleared all the way down.
That's a reaction save, boy, and that was a beauty. Woo.
For a big guy, he is quick.
He is quick. The kid is quick. There's no doubt about it. I watched him play quite a bit with the Canadian Olympic team, and we knew that this guy was going to help. Now watch, that's Francis Getty right in the middle of you, or left of your screen, right there, in the air. He deflected that, and you'll see. Watch Burke's right leg as he kicks it out. I mean, he's moving with this. There's 25, Francis Getty and Bangle. I mean, he played that. It wasn't like it was a lucky save. He saw it all the way.
You know, you said when you watched him during the Olympics, that you knew that he'd be good. Did you know he'd be this good?
No.
This soon?
Absolutely not. The other thing is, too, the team has responded around him, which makes him even better. When the team responds around the goaltender like that, it just makes him that much better.
Pavanka, Adams, and Gardner on for Washington with Smith and Hatcher. It's Greg Smith, number 19, took the place in the lineup of Rod Langway. Langway out for this series. Centered in front. Here comes Broughton, number 10, with the puck. Driving it on goal. Malarchuk steers it up into the crowd, stopping play with 14:08 to go in this first period. Aaron Broughton, who broke loose with 3 goals, a pure hat trick in Game 2 as he scored the first 3 goals for New Jersey.
Well, for New Jersey to win, this line has to go. This guy here, Broughton and Muller and Verbeek, all have to go. He is one of the strongest guys on faceoffs in this league, by the way. And I noticed that Kirk Muller's been taking a lot of the draws. But when they played the Rangers, Broughton took a lot of faceoffs for this line and this team.
Muller goes against Dale Hunter. Loose puck in the corner. Muller knocked down by the heavy check of Kevin Hatcher. Tough to go against Hatcher. He's a big guy. Curvers.
For Washington to do well in this series, they need Hatcher to play the top of his game, like he did against Philadelphia.
Curvers, cross-ice pass intercepted by Gardner, and his pass taken right back by Curvers. Mark Johnson moves in. Johnson looks toward the net, waits, then shoots, and it's blocked. Hunter clears the rebound.
Kirk Muller went off the ice and is being attended to by the trainer.
It had to be from that check when he was knocked down by Hatcher.
Right. Either that or by the...
Hunter moving in toward the net, Gardner, and he was taken out of the play by Curvers. Patrick Sundstrom takes the puck. Sundstrom on the move. Pass broken up by Stevens. Johnson and Gardner. Now the puck taken back. Wolanin's feed is to Johnson. This is Sundstrom coming down, leaves it for McClain. Whistle for an offside. Now we've got McClain and Adams involved, and Wolanin steps right in the middle of it. 13:07 to go. First period at the Meadowlands Arena. Nothing serious is broken out. There's still no score.
Here's some good news about Green Thumb products from True Value hardware stores.
Give your lawn the nourishment it needs with Green Thumb Lawn Food for only $5.88. It applies easily with this Green Thumb Drop Spreader with flow control or Broadcast Spreader with a rust-proof hopper. Your choice, just $24.88. And rugged Green Thumb garden tools with forged steel heads are just $10.99 each. For a beautiful lawn and garden, remember Green Thumb products from participating True Value hardware stores. Tell them Willard sent you.
No score in the game. 7 minutes gone by as Pat Conacher, originally a draft pick of the New York Rangers in 1979.
Had the pleasure of playing with Patty.
Stolen by Belichick. He moves in. He shoots. Save. Malarchuk. Off the chest protector, and it's cleared out of the zone.
That's something I noticed Washington doing in the 2 games we broadcast. And they in their own zone, they're going cross ice with the pass, which is something they didn't do a lot during the season.
Usually play the boards?
Yeah, they usually went up the boards. This time they're trying to go up the middle, and they're making cross ice passes that are being intercepted.
Scott Stevens, chased by Claude Loisel. Up the boards, Doug Brown keeps it in. Brown for Loisel. Now it's Galley, number 2 for Washington. Hooked in front, knocked away momentarily. Stevens gets it out of the zone. Sorella plays it across. Devils almost caught in the change. Almost had too many men on the ice. Brown hopped over the boards just in time. Bengt Gustafsson, number 16, dropping it in. Driver goes back to play it. Finds Brendan Shanahan. Shanahan staying in the lineup. Jim Schoenfeld says he rewards his players on the merit system. Shanahan played well the other night. Caps having problems deep in their own zone. Murphy double team, gets rid of it to Kelly Miller. Miller out with Ridley and Gould.
Well, that's a different line.
Ridley's ahead of the play offside. As Miller cut to the middle, that brings it offside with 11:36 to go in this first period and no score. As you know, Rangers goaltender John Van Beesbroek has been doing some scouting for us. He has some thoughts on his opposite number on the Caps, goalie Clint Malarchuk.
Clint Malarchuk is a very aggressive goaltender. He uses the butterfly style of goaltending very effectively. He has a great glove hand and very quick feet. Malarchuk reads the play well, but has a little trouble when he handles the puck.
Thank you, John.
Has a little trouble when he handles the puck, eh, John? Okay.
We'll watch that. Clint Malarchuk had a tremendous hot streak. Following the All-Star break, the Caps came out and
there's a
penalty called by Dennis Morrell.
Greenlaw slashed at Verbeek right across the, just under the arms.
Delayed penalty coming up. Devils get an extra man on. Move into the Cap zone. Kerber's upended. 2 players have been tripped up on this delayed penalty call. Malarchuk plays the puck. The whistle stops play. Devils will go on their second power play of the game. 11:12 to go. First period, no score.
Mitsubishi knows you want a truck to be tough. But we also know you want more for your money. Mitsubishi Mighty Max trucks give you more. Up to 2.6 liters of power, a 5-speed stick, more standard features for less than Toyota, Nissan, or Mazda. Even the lowest priced macro cab. The new Mitsubishi Mighty Max trucks. Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice.
At Boston Garden, the Boston Bruins are on the power play. The hitting is picked up, and Claude Lemieux is in the box. 2 minutes for charging. The Bruins lead this game 1-0 on a goal by Moldomé at 4:07. We'll keep you posted if there's any other change. Now let's get back to New Jersey as the Devils go on the power play. Here's Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito.
Thanks, Tom. Devils play it in deep. Muller is checked by Hatcher. Muller, Broughton, Verbeek, Driver, and Kerber's on for the power play. And the Caps clear it. They've got Miller on with Stevens, Hatcher, and Gould.
Well, the Devils had 3 power play goals in game 2, and it certainly made a difference.
They're 3 for 12 in this series. 0 for 1, now make it 3 for 13. 0 for 1 tonight on that short one earlier in this period. Broughton tapping it ahead. Gould broke it up, and Stevens clears it. Driver back for the puck.
Not being very aggressive. They're peeling off and picking up their wings, Washington.
Broughton comes across. Muller heads in front. Back pass to the point. But across Kerber's with a pass out of the zone. Driver sends it back to Kerber's. Devils made an adjustment in the power play in Game 2, taking more shots from the point and screening the goaltender.
It looked like, to me, they were caving in on the goalie a lot more. And watching the replay, they were just going at the goaltender all the time.
Patrick Sundstrom is on, but good checking at the line by the Caps. Outstanding. Gustafsson takes it away. He's bumped. But the Caps control with 40 seconds to go on the man advantage. Hatcher drives it down the ice. No shots on goal on this power play for the Caps. For the Devils, excuse me. 30 seconds to go on the man advantage. John McClain is hit in center. Malarchuk. Johnson there to intercept. Battles with Gould in the corner. Larry Murphy is there to move it up the board. Stop. Here's Wolanin toward the net, deflected by Stevens. Sundstrom back to Danico for the shot. Score! A deflection in front by Mark Johnson. It's a power play goal, and the Devils lead 1-0.
The Capitals were doing very well killing off this penalty. They finally got set up, the Devils that is, in the Capital zone, and bango, they get a goal. Let's take a look at it. Watch Mark Johnson, the bottom part in the middle of your screen, number 12. Here's the shot, and here's the deflection. Right between the legs of Clinton Malarchuk. But that's a great shot from the point man. There's number 12. Watch how he looks around. McClain comes in and takes out some guys. And it's just a beautiful deflection by Mark Johnson right between the legs of Clint Malarchuk. Good shot from the point.
The Devils did not have a good power play in Game 1. They had a good one in Game 2. They've continued it here in Game 3. Devils lead 1-0. Loisel now on with Brown and Conacher, Sorella and Belichick. Washington sending on Gardner, Pavanka, and Adams. Smith and Hatcher. Belichick comes in to play it. Behind the net, Conacher. Conacher controls. Hit into the board. Sorella is there to play it. Back behind the net. Hatcher gets to it. Hatcher lifts it out of the zone. Shots are 6-2 for the Devils. 8:50 to go in the first period. And New Jersey leading 1-0. Johnson getting his 5th of the playoffs from Danico and Sundstrom at 10:37.
Great shot by Danico from the point there, right on the ice. Nothing's easier for a forward to deflect, obviously, if the puck's low.
Brown. Conacher sending it in. Carols back to the net. Malarchuk lost sight of it. Adams plays it back. Caps just don't look in sync yet, Bill. They
don't flow to the game. They have nothing going for them right now.
Surprised about some of those line changes. They want to get Gardner going. Here's a chance for Carlson. Now it's Maley trying to ward off the check of Ridley. Maley still controls. In the middle, it's broken up by Ledyard. Taken back by Curvers, but it's out of the zone. He puts it back in. Devils get onside.
He's got another crazy line combination out there. He's got Christian, Ridley, and Hunter.
There's Christian. Those are 3 guys who can all play center.
That's right.
And he's got them on together. Puck deflection in the crowd. 7:48 to go first period. Devils lead the Caps 1-0.
Your attention, please, for Mr. Kirk.
You really have to be careful out there. The road's full of surprises. Since I got Michelin's, I feel in control. Sure of myself and my car. Look, no tire can stop surprises. I know, but with Michelin's, you can be ready for them.
Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
The Meadowlands Arena alive as the Devils have a 1-0 lead on the Washington Capitals. Capitals now send out Peter Sundstrom with Lou Francis Getty and Jeff Greenlaw. Stevens and Galley paired on defense. Verbeek sends it across. Bruce Driver. I'll tell you one thing about the Devils, Bill. There's a lot of hair on that team. They've all got beards.
Well, that's that tradition in the playoffs.
You like it?
Yeah, I mean, I've been there. I did the same thing. I've done the same thing.
Offside is called. Stopping play with 7:21 to go. Scott Stevens, and his presence will be needed. What do you think he'll play in a game like this, Phil? 30 to 35 minutes?
He's got to play close to 30 minutes. He is the key to their defense, especially with Rod Langway out. That's a real big blow to the Washington Capitals.
It's a good record when they score first. And they've got the first goal of this game. Langway has a small cast over that cut, which was stitched up after he was taken to the hospital when he was cut late in game 1. The cut on the skate, from the skate of Pat Verbeek. It was a ½ inch deep and 3 inches wide. The bottom of the muscle. Malarchuk stops the puck. Around the boards for Kelly Miller. Couldn't handle it. Well, landed from the point. It's deflected up into the crowd. 7:01 to go in this first period.
Clint Malarchuk played in Quebec. Michel Bergeron told me he was a good goaltender. Liked the way he played. Very competitive guy.
Malarchuk played 6 playoff games for Quebec. Was 0-4 with them. 24 wins this season. He had a stretch, I started to say earlier, right after the All-Star break, where he won 8 out of 9. He was fabulous.
That's when I saw him play here.
Puck taken away by Miller, sends out Ridley. Gould on the right wing, but Belichick breaks it up. How about the play of Randy Belichick since Schoenfeld took over?
That's what I was just going to say. I mean, he has played. He was so smart on that one. He stood up. He did not back in. He saw that Ridley had nowhere to go with the puck. The only thing he could do is either shoot the puck in or try to make that cross-ice pass, and which Belichick intercepted, and that's exactly what he did. He forced him to make that pass. It was great. Got Hunter playing left wing out there.
A lot of Devils may be making some shaving cream or razor blade commercials after this series.
They win this series, there's no doubt.
Don Burke, boy, he's had a quiet night. He had one tough save to make. Only 2 shots on goal for the Caps here in the first period. Devils leading 1-0. Belichick back to the puck. Forechecking is Gustafson. Here's Sorella. Past Hunter. Caps did not skate this morning. They skated yesterday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Lead for Hunter is too far. Sorella gets there. Verbeek leaves it for Muller. Muller moves in. Penalty called. Delayed penalty on the Caps. In comes Danico. Save made. Danico again around for Broughton. Whistle stops play as Hunter and Muller are going at it. Danico moves in.
You see what Hunter's doing right there. He knows that Christian, I think, gets a penalty. He probably gets it for interference or tripping. So he tried to get Muller to get involved in an altercation with Hunter so that we can get him out. Because their power play is not as effective with Muller out there.
Hunter trying to get something going for his team. Right now the Caps are flat. Through almost 14 minutes of the first period. 6:10 to go in the first, with the Devils leading the Caps 1-0.
Mitsubishi knows you want a truck to be tough. But we also know you want more for your money. Mitsubishi Mighty Max trucks give you more. Up to 2.6 liters of power, a 5-speed stick, more standard features for less than Toyota, Nissan, or Mazda. Even the lowest priced macro cab. The new Mitsubishi Mighty Max trucks. Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice.
At the Boston Garden, it's been a busy night for Montreal goaltender Patrick Roy. The Boston Bruins have had numerous power play opportunities. Their only goal, though, was full strength by Mo LeMay. Patrick Roy had to hold the fort on that one. Stephen Fletcher has not played yet for the Montreal Canadiens. We'll let you know if hostilities break out. So far, no fights in this game, despite all the tough talk. Now let's get back to New Jersey. The Devils lead Washington 1-0. Here's Sam and Phil.
Montreal lacking offense right now. Here, an extra penalty. Bengt Gustafson getting the original penalty, but Phil looked like Morel. I thought it was Christian too.
It was Christian. It was right by the Devils sign, right at the right side of the red line, where he tripped the guy. But Gustafson gets caught for it, and then Hunter and Muller get 2 minutes each for roughing.
Gustafson for interference. Hunter Muller 2 minutes each for roughing at 13:50. Devils power play will be their third of this first period. They're 1 for 2.
And the first one was what? 41 seconds.
Johnson, Sundstrom.
I'm watching McLean. McLean came over very quietly to bring an ice bag. He had it tucked under his shirt, his sweater and brought it over to give to Kirk Muller. And it was an ice bag. And Kirk Muller's got his head down, and he's got an ice bag.
Is there something illegal about that?
No, but he's hiding it because he doesn't want the Washington Capitals to see.
Oh, okay.
And here I go telling everyone.
Curvers and Danico at the points. Curvers and Driver, excuse me, at the points. Johnson, McLean, and Sundstrom up front. Here's Sundstrom bringing it across, leaves it for Mark Johnson. Sundstrom goes in front of the net. Back to Danico. Now to Curvers. On to Johnson, but it's intercepted. Hatcher clears it out.
Curvers just tried to rush that pass a little bit too much.
Driver sets it up behind the net. 5:40 to go, first period. Devils leading 1-0 as Johnson comes down 3-on-2 across the line. Lost control, pokes it to the net, and Malarchuk covers up. Stops play. Minute 23 to go. And the penalty to Bengt Gustafsson. Mark Johnson, who is a veteran in the National Hockey League and has really helped the playoff charge of the New Jersey Devils. And John Van Beesbrook, Rangers goaltender, has some thoughts on Mark Johnson and his play for the Devils.
Mark Johnson is the best face-off man the Devils have. He is the seasoned vet, and with his experience, he knows what it takes to win.
Mark Johnson?
Well, John, I disagree with you. I don't think Johnson is the best face-off man the Devils have.
Who is?
I think Broughton or Muller.
Okay. You're entitled to disagree.
That's why he's a goalie. Now watch Johnson win this one clean.
You know, John Van Beesbrook is sitting back watching the game saying, what do you know, Phil? Come on, I'm on the ice. Here's Ridley clearing the puck. Burke stops it for Wolanin. Forced by Peter Sundstrom, he gets away. The Sundstrom brothers are on the ice. Patrick for New Jersey, number 17. Peter for Washington, number 12. Driver across to Wolanin, turns and shoots and broke his stick.
This went in.
Both went wide. The stick blade went wide, the puck went wide the opposite side. Back behind the net, John McLean for Patrick Sundstrom. To Mark Johnson, he scores! What a play by the Devils! A power play goal! And New Jersey leads 2-0.
Well, here's the case of knowing exactly where your line mate is. Patrick Sundstrom back behind pass. Let's take a look at it. There's Driver. He shoots in the corner. Now watch McLean. He doesn't look out front. Now watch Sundstrom back pass. He doesn't look either. And there's Johnson. And he beats Malarchuk again between the legs.
Smart play by the Devils.
Well, Sundstrom, the law of averages, okay, somebody's going to be there. And a lot of times their defense pitches in too. But here we go again, Sam. Another power play goal.
5 in 2 games now for the Devils. Mark Johnson's 6th playoff goal. The Devils lead 2-0 with 4:53 to go.
This is where they really miss Langley. Some penalties.
Assist to number 17.
Murphy's pass is blocked. Caps have absolutely no life in this first period. Belichick is back for the puck. Chased by Greg Adams and whacks at him with a stick. Sorella has it. Nice pass on the stick of Anders Carlson. Malarchuk plays it to the boards. Down comes David Maley. Maley tied up with Larry Murphy. Gardner is there. Murphy moves it up the glass, but Carlson blocks it. Very aggressive play in the corners by the Devils. Nice pass from Pavanka to Murphy. Caps come out. Murphy sends it in. Off the boards, Adams goes for it. Taken away by Sorella. On to Carlson. He's hit by Adams, who takes the puck away in front. It's intercepted by Belichick. Taken out by Maley. Maley hacked at by Pavanka. Murphy knocks it away, but Shanahan recovers for the Devils. Shanahan winds up and fires wide of the net. Murphy plays it. The goal, Johnson is 6th of the playoffs, 2nd of the game from Sundstrom, Patrick Sundstrom, and John McLean at 15:07.
I was watching Maley and Greg Adams came together right in front of the Capital bench, and Maley went down quite heavily, got up very slowly, looked at the bench, said a couple of things, and went to his own bench.
Brian Murray made a move in Game 2, Phil, that I couldn't understand. His team controlled Game 1, played very well. They went to the physical style of play and challenged the Devils. And the Devils, I think, like that and respond to that type of play, and they lost.
Well,
the Caps lost.
That's right, Sam. It's like we were talking about at the beginning of the show, that they got them going. They gave them an emotional high, for somehow they got the Devils mad. And the Devils played the last 10 or 15 games of the regular season angry, and on a very high emotional level, and it just carried them right through. And I think that's what's happened.
Ridley for the face-off. Ridley, Miller, and Gould, the line for Washington. As Gardner's taken off that line, Gardner's had only 1 goal in 9 games coming into tonight's game in the playoffs after scoring 48 in the regular season. Had 5 games against the Devils in regular season play. Ridley picks it up. Ridley moving in against Danico, breaks it up and sweeps it aside. Good play by Danico. Kelly Miller gets it back. Ridley set up in the slot. Miller controls nicely. Miller still with it. Comes out in front. Saved by Burke. Fine play by Kelly Miller. Burke stayed with it. Stevens deflected. Danico misses, but he's helped by Wolanin. All the way down. This will be an icing if Galley gets there, and he gets there first. 2:54 to go. First period at the Meadowlands Arena with New Jersey leading 2-0.
It is no big deal.
It's a hassle.
Oh, it's called Master Care Car Service. Brakes, tune-ups.
Alignments?
No big deal. The mechanics are great. All their equipment, you'd swear they were technicians. And they stand behind their work 6 months or 6,000 miles.
Master Care.
You're covered from Maine to Missoula. These guys are so good. Fixing your car is no big deal.
Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. Master Care Car Service by Firestone.
But I thought they just sold tires.
2-0 Devils leading on 2 power play goals. Look at this move by Miller.
He comes right around now. If he gets it up, well, watch Burke lean. Watch him lean. See him leaning? Now, if he gets that up, he has a chance to score. Burke is such a big goaltender. If you're going to get that close in on him, you've got to put it up.
Long shot from the point, got through, and a good save and a penalty call. Velishek battling in front with Christian. Christian turns and shoots, and it's blocked. And the whistle stops play.
Velishek is going to go for holding, but what a save Burke made on the shot from Greg Smith on the point, right from the draw. Gustafson again winning a very important faceoff. Let's take a look at it. Here's the shot by Greg Smith. Watch that right pad. That's a heck of a save, and there's the penalty. Number 27 just grabbing Christian. And now a chance for the Capitals to get back into the game.
Dennis Morrell making the holding call. Velishek off at 17-18 at the Boston Garden. Molome's goal giving Boston a 1-0 lead will be at Boston Garden Sunday night for Game 4 of that series.
And to say I'm not looking forward to it is a lie. I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be exciting with number 7 hanging from the rafters. Velishek for holding at 17-18. Second power play for the Caps. Their first one ended 41 seconds after it began when they took a penalty. Puck deflects up into the Caps bench. Galley and Hatcher playing the points. Christian, another man who's struggled offensively. Claude Loisel, what a fine year he had for the New Jersey Devils. Got off to a great start offensively. And working on the suspenders of Bruce Driver.
Sometimes, you know, guys have suspenders so loose. Some guys don't even wear suspenders anymore. Bobby Orr used to have just the cap with nothing, no protection anywhere.
But suspenders are in, Phil. Fashionable now. You wear them with some of your suits.
That's before I put on some tonnage.
What we need is some colored suspenders. Galley, power play for Washington. The Caps on the move. Lead for Dale Hunter. Hunter across with Gustafson trailing. Now Gustafson goes in deep. Hunter looking. Christian sets up in the circle. Galley to Hatcher. Long shot, save, rebound, Christian, hit the post. Galley knocks it down. Christian waited, had Burke down, and he hit the post. The hand pass is whistled.
I think Hunter and Loisel are going to go off. They were in front of the net. But the thing with Washington, I just noticed, Sam, Hatcher shot that puck from the point, and no one was in front of the net. And that's what the Devils were so guilty of the first game. And here's take a look at it, okay? Galley goes across. Now watch. Here's the shot by Hatcher. Nobody's in front of the net, but here comes Christian. He gets the puck. He shoots it up, and it banks off of a New Jersey Devil. That was Loisel, and it bounces out. Another look at it. You can see, he can see this puck all the way. And watch him. Look at him. He sees the puck all the way. Now, he tries to get up, and he sees that Christian has a good angle on him. And he still was able to keep it out. I'll tell you, this kid, you know what I like about him? Okay, he's only, what, 21 years old and all that. But his intensity level, his concentration is so good. He really reminds me, not of Dryden so much, but Hextall.
Also, the way he reacted, Phil, when he first came in, he played against Washington. They scored on him on the first shot. He played that last period in the game that the Caps beat the Devils. Then he goes up to Boston, and they get him for 6 goals, but the Devils win the game 7-6 in overtime. And after that, he's been brilliant. Caps power play continues. Another 1:08 to go. Stevens shot blocked in front by Milan. And the rebound saved by Burke off Gustafson. Gustafson along the boards. Long shot by Stevens, saved by Burke. The rebound carried, one put in. Christian scores a power play goal, and it's 2-1.
Well, a little shoving after the whistle because Broughton came in late and hit Gustafson. You're going to see in the replay here, Christian's first opportunity hits Adams. Greg Adams, and the puck stays out of the net, and he gets it back and was able to put it in. Okay, let's take a look at it. There is Scott Stevens at the point. Now, he shoots the puck. You see Greg Adams right in front of the goalie doing a good job. Now, watch the puck. Bam, it hits Adams' leg. He gets it back, and then he calmly tucks it in. And then number 10, Broughton, comes in after and bumps into Gustafson. Here's another look at it. Here's a shot by Stevens. Greg Adams does a heck of a job right here. Watch that puck hit him right in the knee, and then he puts in a rebound. So Christian gets the Washington Capitals back into the hockey game.
Well, Christian missed on that earlier shot by Stevens when he had the rebound chance. Then he missed on the one where he hit Adams. So he goes 1 for 3, but the one is the one that really counts. The power play goal gives the Caps some life with 1:25 to go in this first period. It's 2-1 as Miller beats Sorella, centers, and it's cleared by Belichick. Ridley has it knocked away by Anders Carlson. Rolls all the way down. And this will be an icing. Stevens makes the touch. 1:13 to go in the first period. Fans don't like the call.
Here's a look at Jim Schoenfeld, one of the toughest players I ever played against. I'm telling you, he played the game with more intensity, and I think he doesn't look like he's intense behind the bench, and he's a calm guy back there. But boy, he played the game with intensity, and I think he expects his players, and they have responded to play the game the same way.
1:13 to go in this first period. The goal, Dave Christian, his second of the playoffs. Adams and Stevens get the assist. Caps 1 for 2 on the power play now. Devils are 2 for 3. Curvers gets it to Conacher, who tapped it down the ice. Again, it rolls across the goal line. Again, an icing call. 1:03 to go in this first period. Stevens and Doug Brown have some angry words. Now, Stevens has been very, very disciplined. He's
got to stay away from this. Look at him. He knows it. He's got to stay away from it. He's too important to the team on the ice.
He stayed out of it in the Philadelphia series, and it really helped the Caps come back in that series. They need him on the ice.
Make no mistake about it, folks. This kid here, Stevens, is one tough dude. He can go if he has to go. Now watch, he just says something to Brown, and they're talking all the way up the ice. And then they decide to have a meeting, and then Stevens just skates away.
Well, Stevens did throw a little elbow at him. Let him know. But what I like in looking at Scott Stevens throughout the season, Phil, is cut his penalty minutes down drastically, dramatically.
Yeah, sure did.
Tough saves. Malarchuk 5 for 4. Less than a minute to go in the first period. Doug Brown moving down. Stevens knocks it away. Conacher keeps it in. Stevens fell down. Conacher looking for the puck, but it's underneath Scott Stevens. 48 seconds left in this first period.
There's Scott Stevens.
Tomorrow night.
A lot of people are saying that he may win the Norris Trophy, and
well,
I don't think, you know, I mean, I think that it'd be a good choice.
A lot of good ones, but I don't think anyone had a series or a season that they were way out better than anyone else on defense. A lot of good ones. Ray Bourque didn't have a Ray Bourque type season, but still had a good season. Kevin Lowe for Edmonton had a good year. James Patrick got injured, and that hurt his chances. Puck knocked down by Gustafson. Long shot goes wide. And the Devils clear the zone. 30 seconds to go in this first period. Patrick Sundstrom tied up by Ben Gustafson. And on offside as McLean took it across the line. Play stopped with 27 seconds left.
There's Ben Gustafson. We talked about him earlier. He is very strong on faceoffs. He's a lot stronger than people think.
He goes around 200 pounds. I think they had hoped that he would give them more offense during the regular season. He certainly helped Dave Christian.
He should. He really should, though.
Give them more offense.
He should. He should have had a lot more goals, and he should have had a lot more points. But he did a lot of other things. He killed penalties real well for him and stuff like that, and won faceoffs.
Puck batted out of the air by John McLean. Somebody, they waited. No one wanted to touch it. It's stick above the shoulder, and the faceoff is outside the Washington zone. 14 seconds to go in the first period.
Patrick Sundstrom, who came over from Vancouver, is playing the wing and playing very, very well at the wing. In fact, I think he's playing better at the wing than he was at center.
Schoenfeld made that switch, and I think it really helped that line clicking with McLean moving into the right side. Mark Johnson is the center. It really worked.
You know why I believe it works, Sam? I think that Sundstrom wasn't called upon to be that offensive threat, that offensive guy that they expected to get when they traded Greg Adams for him. I think they put him on a checking line, so-called checking line. McLean is supposed to be a checker. Mark Johnson now is playing center, but Loisel did play center there for a while. And Sundstrom, and it sort of took away a little bit from his offensive, and not that he doesn't have the ability to do that, it's just that he didn't have to worry about it.
He's been a 30-goal scorer plus. And last season, 29 goals. Sundstrom moving in, and the horn sounds, ending the first period. Devils get 2 power play goals by Mark Johnson. Caps answer back on a power play goal by David Christian. And Sean Burke stops 7 shots in the first period. Devils lead 2-1.
Shots on goal.
Okay, listen up. Oakley here's filling in for Bob tonight. Good luck, kid.
For 3 years, Bill Oakley took orders.
Okay. Tonight we need to fit up the shelf plate, weld it out.
But tonight,
All the help we can get. Are you with me?
he's got to stand up and take charge.
You got to reach inside. You got to turn the tide. You are the power, the man of the hour. You got them on your side. You make America work.
Here's to you, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste that makes Budweiser the king of beers. For all the guys who know it's not what you say, but what you do.
The Whopper tastes better than Big Mac.
Yes, it's true.
Why? 'Cause the taste was made for you.
In a national taste test, 3 out of 4 preferred the taste of the Burger King Whopper over the Big Mac.
And they do it like you do it on your backyard barbecue.
3 out of 4 said the Flame Broiled Whopper tastes better than the Big Mac. We bet you like
Whopper 2. We do it like you do it when we do it like we do it at Burger King.
Okay, so you love your car. Whoa. You're not going inside yet. The tires, the 4 round things underneath. There you go. Now, see that Armor All protected? Wipe some of that stuff on the tires and bumpers. Okay, now get in the car and do the dash and the seats. You can do this. This is not rocket science. Now, look at your car. Now go in the house and tell them how hard you worked. Go ahead. They don't know about Armor All. They'll buy it.
The sights, the sounds, the unforgettable performances. Warm up for all the day's action with Game Day. Every Saturday and Sunday morning at 11:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Evening number 12 of ESPN's Road to the Stanley Cup continues from the Byrne Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. After one period, the New Jersey Devils 2 and the Washington Capitals 1. So tonight is Act 3, if you will, in both the Adams Division Final and the Patrick Division Final. Last night, of course, was a dramatic Act 2, at least dramatic in one division, as the Smythe Division Final continued between Calgary and Edmonton. The Norris Division Final, game number 2, was strictly no contest as St. Louis met Detroit. Let's take a look now at last night's Campbell Conference playoff action. Game 2 of the Norris Division Finals last night in Detroit was definitely a banner evening for the Detroit Red Wings and Peter Klima in particular. Peter Klima notching his second playoff hat trick. Goal 1 against Greg Millen of the St. Louis Blues came on that rush up the slot. And then Peter Klima got some help from some unfriendly sources. All he's trying to do here is center the puck. It hits a covey of St. Louis defenders, goes in off the skate of defenseman Tim Bothwell. That was goal number 2. And then this perfect pass led to goal number 3.
Yeah, it does. I just get to know where he is and he gets to know where I am. It's a funny thing, when you're a centerman, you get a goal scorer, you kind of key on him. And I've been keying on Peter now since we started playing together. Now I really don't have to key on him because I know where he is. And, you know, I'm getting used to Bobby a little bit more now. It was a little difficult for a while, but the 3 of us now are starting to click real well. We're starting to know where each other are. We're starting to throw without looking. And it's just starting to look good out in the ice. We just got to make sure it doesn't just look good, but it brings results, too.
Also a key factor for the Red Wings in the 6-0 whitewash, the goaltending of Greg Steffen as he notched his first playoff shutout.
Well, it was my first one, so I'm quite happy. I've been come short on a few of them over the years, but it's nice, and the team played so well in front of me. You know, they had 8 power plays, and our penalty killing shut them down really good. So that was a big key going into the series, is the penalty killing, and we stood on top tonight.
In the Smythe Division Finals, the Sea of Red was out in force at the Olympic Saddledome as their heroes, the Calgary Flames, tried to even up their series with the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers had won Game 1, and early on, Calgary came out flying, and their captain, Lanny McDonald, gave the Flames faithful a lot to cheer about on this goal that made it 1-0. Then Joe Mullen gets a pass off the boards to Al McGinnis. Quickly, it was 2-0 Calgary. But the Oilers came back to trail only 3-2 and then tied the game on this bullet by Wayne Gretzky, as no one seemed interested in covering Wayne Gretzky as he motored his way towards goaltender Mike Vernon. Then with the Flames leading 4-3, late in the third period, under 4 minutes to go, Yari Curry takes the shot and scores to send the game into overtime. And if you had to take bets who would score the winning goal in overtime, this man, Wayne Gretzky, would probably be the odds-on favorite. He did so. 8 minutes into overtime, Gretzky wins the game. Edmonton takes a 2-0 lead back home to the Northlands Coliseum, and Glenn Sather is elated. Elated, to put it mildly. Hey, in case you think the Calgary Flames are about to be doused, remember 2 things. Calgary had the best road record this year in the National Hockey League, and of the 10 games played so far between Calgary and Edmonton, the road team has won 80% of the time, 8-2. So just keep that in mind as we will be in Edmonton tomorrow night for Game 3 of that Smythe Division Final. Our score after 1 period from New Jersey, the Devils lead Washington 2-1 in the power play-filled contest. We'll get back to Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito in the Meadowlands in a moment.
Pete, how high does the Michigan lawn grow?
Well, Ed, I remember back in 1940.
It's deer season, and Michigan Golf and Turf is giving away a John Deere 21-inch 4-cycle self-propelled lawnmower. At Michigan Golf and Turf, you can find a complete line of John Deere lawn and garden equipment. Celebrate deer season by coming into Michigan Golf and Turf's location on Universal Drive in Taylor and signing up to win a John Deere 21-inch 4-cycle self-propelled lawnmower. But hurry, contest ends April 15th.
Before you dig, call Miss Dig for locations of underground utilities.
For head-on power, blinding speed, more passing, more scoring. The 50-yard indoor war returns. Arena football puts you up close where the action is right in your face. A brand new season kicks off when the New York Knights battle the Los Angeles Cobras. Live Saturday, April 30th, only on ESPN.
It is certainly true that the meteoric rise of the New Jersey Devils has been somewhat of a media event nationwide, both in the U.S. and in Canada. But let's not forget the Washington Capitals. This team, although they've never won the Patrick Division Finals in the playoffs, did come back from supposed oblivion as they trailed Philadelphia 3-1, only to win that series 4-3. So they have a lot of character, and even though they appeared flat, they did get a late power play goal by Dave Christian to move to within striking distance. It's New Jersey 2 and Washington 1. Now let's go back live to the Meadowlands. Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito, do you think that late goal by Washington is going to pick up their spirits a lot?
What do you think, Phil? I think it's got to.
I think it does too, but still, they don't have any flow going. They don't seem to be in the game like the Devils are right now. But I think the first 5 minutes, Tom, will tell whether the Washington Capitals are back into it and getting some flow going.
The other thing we have to look for in that second period, Kirk Muller went out with an injury. Now he's being worked on between periods. We'll try to get a further word, but we'll watch to see if he returns. If he's out, that could be a key loss for the Devils.
That could really hurt the Devils because Kirk Muller is their captain. He is a leader, and he's a tremendous player on the power play in front of the net. Although the 2 power play goals they scored were both by Mark Johnson, and Kirk Muller wasn't on the ice for either one time. So.
Devils took the lead with the 2 power play goals. Johnson gets both his 5th and 6th of the playoffs, assisted by Danico and Sundstrom on the first, Sundstrom and McLean on the second. Then Christian at 18:22 from Adams and Stevens. Shots on goal, Devils 9. Caps picking it up late in that first period at 8. Should be a very interesting second period, Tom. Let's go back to you.
All right, Sam and Phil, thanks a lot. Buckle your seatbelts. Hope the fans aren't giving Phil too tough a time down there across the river from Madison Square Garden in New Jersey. One thing we could watch in this game to see if it develops the pattern that developed in Game 2, where 162 penalty minutes were called, but so far things are rather toned down. But as someone once said, the evening is still young, and ESPN's Road to the Cup. Night number 12 continues in just a moment.
The City of Dearborn and the Dearborn Board of Realtors would like to invite you to the first annual Home and Garden Show. Come visit the dozens of exhibitors who can help with your spring remodeling and building needs. The show is free to the public and will be held from 10 till 6 Saturday, April 23rd and Sunday, April 24th at the Adre Ice Arena. And while you're at the show, make sure to stop by and see
Professor Bookstore, where you can find a wide selection of do-it-yourself books and magazines for home and garden, located on Michigan Avenue in West Dearborn, open 7 days a week.
Hello, and welcome to our special guest, McGruff the Crime Dog.
Thanks, Dick.
Now, do I understand that Neighborhood Watch programs have reduced crime in some areas as much as 50%?
That's right, but there's more to be done. Start a volunteer escort service for older folks.
Aha, good news for the old folks at home, eh? What about the young folks?
Start McGruff houses.
Which are?
Houses kids can duck into in case of trouble.
For more information, write to this address and help
take a bite out of crime.
President of the National Hockey League, Mr. John A. Ziegler, Jr.
The National Hockey League, along with other professional sports organizations, supports the President's Sports Drug Education Program. The goal of this program is simple. It is to keep our young people free from drugs. I'd like you to listen to a lady who really cares. She's given a great deal of her time to this program, Nancy Reagan.
Thank you, John. You're right. I do care. And I'm greatly concerned about the epidemic use of drugs by school-age children. Sports figures, especially hockey players who are so respected by our young people, can help lead the way in our fight to defeat drug abuse. I'm so pleased that NHL players like Wayne Gretzky, Mike Bossy, and Rod Langway have joined this effort. Together, we'll make a great team, and together, we'll win this fight.
We're between the first and second periods of our primary telecast tonight on Road to the Cup, the Devils and the Capitals from
the Meadowlands, and we'll be getting back there for the second period in just a moment. Time once again, as we always do at this time, to check out the Bud Light scoreboard. They're just underway in the second period at Boston Garden between the Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins. Only one goal in this game, and it came within the first 4.5 minutes of the first period, and the Boston Bruins got on the board. Puck is loose at center ice, and Mo LeMay picks it up at the Montreal blue line, cruises in and beats Patrick Waugh badly, low to the glove side. That's the only goal of the game. Boston has had several power play opportunities. In fact, they are right now opening up the second period on the power play. Matt Snazzle to Montreal was called for a slashing penalty at 20 minutes of the first period. So it is Boston on the power play as they open up the second stanza. Our game has been a power play contest at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Let's take a look at the highlights in case you tuned in late. The Devils strike in the first period. Deflection here. This is Ken Danico with a shot, and Mark Johnson, perfectly positioned on the low shot, beats Clint Malarchuk 1-0. Now same score later on in the first period, again on the power play. John McLean behind the net to Patrick Sundstrom with a beautiful no-look backhand pass to the streaking Johnson, and Mark Johnson 2. Washington nothing with another power play goal for Badger Bob's son. But here come the Devils, rather here come the Capitals late in the period. Scott Stevens with a shot, and Dave Christian picks up the loose puck, hits his teammate in the rear end with the first shot, gets a rebound, and puts it calmly over the red line for the goal. So New Jersey 2 and Washington 1, and we'll resume play. Second period looming ahead. That's a look at the Bud Light scoreboard for the Washington Capitals and the New Jersey Devils coming right up on Road to the Cup.
You want anything?
How about a light?
Whoa!
Oh, Bob, could you make that a Bud Light?
If you want the great taste of Bud Light, ask for it.
Did you see? No.
Did you? No. Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
This is it. Your day in the sun. You've got experience, talent. You know that being hungry isn't enough. You gotta have equipment you can depend on. The charcoal that brings power and consistency to your game. Then, and only then, can you bask in the glow of victory.
Kingsford charcoal. What the pros use.
The challenge is ice hockey. The power is Nintendo. It's as slick as ice, as fast as fury. Throw in your shoulder, dig in your blade, blast it in, or be blown away. Ice hockey only from Nintendo. Play RC Pro-Am. Play with power. Pull up to the start. Taste the challenge. The power of radio control. If you can't take it, you'll eat dust. Radio controlled Pro-Am only from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power.
Today, you need an insurance company with a firm financial footing, a company with staying power and intelligence to see you through year after year, a company with experience you can count on. You need the Hartford, the insurance people of ITT. When you need us most, we're at our best. That's the Hartford difference.
The Road to the Cup on ESPN is being brought to you by Volvo, a car you can believe in, and by Firestone Master Care Car Service. With over 1,400 locations nationwide, finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. And by Diet Coke. Enjoy Diet Coke. You're going to drink it just for the taste of it. And get ready to enjoy the second period of tonight's game between the Devils and the Caps from the Meadowlands. Early in the second period in Boston, it's still the Bruins 1, the Canadiens nothing. Now let's go back live to Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito for the second period, New Jersey and Washington.
Thank you, Tom. And we will rejoin the Boston-Montreal series Sunday night at the Boston Garden for Game 4 of that series here at the Capitol Center. Here at the Meadowlands Arena for Game 3. They'll play Game 4 here at the Meadowlands Arena Sunday night.
I do not see Kirk Muller on the bench. Now, unless that's him bending over, no, that's not him there either. So he is not on the New Jersey bench.
Devils open up with Carlson centering for Brown and Conacher. Their checking line with Velishek and Sorella Stevens and Galley on defense for Washington. The puck goes up into the crowd, stopping play. Gartner, Ridley, and Miller reunited to start the second period here.
Well, offensively, the Capitals were pretty bad that first period. So I think he's going back to the line that carried them for that huge winning streak. What did they win? 12 out of 13 or something? They won at one point.
They got off to that great
after the All-Star game when they practiced.
See the numbers on the Devils, led by Sean Burke. Number 1 defensively thus far in the playoffs. Stevens gets it through the legs of Loisel to Ridley, who gave it away to Doug Brown. Brown, who started Boston College, had a fine rookie season this year with the New Jersey Devils, spending 1 year in the American League last year. Here's Ridley moving in. Miller trailing him. Ridley against Sorella. Centers for Miller. Shot it wide. Nice play by Ridley.
It's an excellent play by Mike Ridley.
Up the boards. Kept in momentarily. Loisel fires across to Doug Brown. Brown moves across against Stevens, who takes him out of the play. Galley goes back for it. Galley takes a hit from Loisel. Centers for Sundstrom. He scores! What a play! Patrick Sundstrom gives the Devils a 3-1 lead, but Loisel with a brilliant play to set it up.
That was an awful play by Galley behind the net. There was a harmless 2-on-2, and Gary Galley got bumped off the puck. When you're doing a clinic, this is how you do it. Loisel bumps him off the puck, passes out in front. Nobody picks up Sundstrom, and he puts a backhand behind the Malarchuk.
What a shot by Sundstrom.
A great shot, but watch this, Galley. Now Loisel takes him off the puck. Now maybe Stevens should have not committed himself so quickly, but Galley should have had that puck out 5 seconds prior to that.
57 seconds, the time of the goal for Patrick Sundstrom, his 4th of the playoffs.
There we go, right off the bat.
Maley and Adams.
And you know what that started from? Remember I was saying that Maley was nailed by Adams right in front of the Washington bench. Well, that's what the result is right there, folks.
A quickie. The Devils are without Perry Anderson tonight. He's serving a 1-game suspension, having received 2-game misconducts in the playoffs. Sundstrom assisted by Loisel. First even-strength goal of the game, giving the Devils a 3-1 lead. Greg Adams will go off, as will David Maley. David Maley, 1-time Montreal Canadien. And has some words across the way for Greg Adams.
What they're saying right now is, okay, next shift out there, let's go. That's all right. And usually 9 times out of 10, you go on the ice and it's forgotten. You sit there for 2 minutes and you just absolutely forget about it.
57 seconds, the time of the penalties. 5 minutes each for fighting for Maley and Adams. And here we go again. Johnson stays on with Sundstrom, and they're joined by Brendan Shanahan on the right side. Caps.
There we go again.
And another one. Wolanin is involved with Greenlaw.
And then we got Shanahan over there with Greg Smith.
Shanahan and Greg Smith squaring off. And we're starting to go back to what we saw and what happened in the game on Wednesday at the Capitol Center. Back to the rough stuff.
Well, that one started again way behind the play. And then Shanahan and Smith down the other end were doing a little stick work. Now this could be the result of Muller being hurt and the Devils starting it. Or it could be the result of the Capitals trying to get back in the game and cause trouble.
The word on Muller is ice is being applied to his arm in the locker room. And we will wait to see if he will come back. 18:50 to go, second period. Devils leading 3-1.
The Porsche 944. The Volvo 740 Turbo Wagon.
To you, they're two completely different cars. But to a radar gun, they look exactly alike.
He's got to be done. Back at the Meadowlands Arena, Greg Smith and Brendan Shanahan have been sent to the locker rooms. Looks like they're going to get game misconduct.
Probably, yeah, match misconduct, but we'll see. We'll wait for the official.
All right, things settling down. There was some yelling across the way by the coaches tomorrow night from the Northlands Coliseum. Mike Emmerich and Bill Clement will be there to bring you Game 3. The Oilers winning 2 on the road lead that series 2-0.
Did you see Gretzky in that overtime? The whole third period, he was awesome. He really was.
You can sense how much he wants it.
That's right.
And the other factor in the series could be the difference between Grant Fuhr and Mike Vernon.
There's no doubt in my mind that could be the difference. And the thing was, the first time I've seen Glenn Sather really react behind the bench, except for when they won the Stanley Cup. And after when Wayne Gretzky scored that goal, there was a great shot of him, and he was really reacting in positive. He was happier than hell.
The Devils lead 3-1 at the Boston Garden on a goal by Mo LeMay in the first period. Boston still leading Montreal 1-0. Reggie Lemelin doing another good job. We get the word on Shanahan and Smith. Brian Murray had come to the door yelling at Dennis Morrell. Wolanin and Greenlaw, we mentioned, got 5 minutes each for fighting. Smith, 5 minutes and a match penalty. Shanahan, 5 minutes each and match penalties intent to injure. So they both gone.
They swung their sticks pretty hard at each other.
I think the Caps were upset because Shanahan may have swung first. Into the Devils zone. Danico plays the puck. New Jersey with a 3-1 lead. And we've got something else going. McLean going after Franciscetti. Franciscetti had not dropped his gloves. Now he does. McLean trying to get at him.
Franciscetti hit Mark Johnson absolutely out of nowhere. Just came by and wailed at him. Knocked him down. He was going to get a 2-minute penalty to begin with.
Phil, is this good for a team that's trailing or bad for a team? Losing its cool like this and getting involved in all these fights. Is it bad for the Washington Capitals?
Well, Sam, to be honest with you, in this instance, when you're getting the McLean off the ice, Muller's off the ice, Wolanin's off the ice, it might be better for them. As you see, Greenlaw and Adams, not guys that are going to put the puck in the net all the time. And Franciscetti, another guy not going to put the puck in the net. And you got a McLean who can score. Let's watch the top of the circle. You can see there's Franciscetti right in the middle of your screen. Okay.
And there he goes.
Knock Johnson right there. What an elbow.
Wow.
And McLean goes after him, and that started it. And I'm sure Franciscetti he's got to get an extra 2 minutes.
Well, right now, it's McLean who gets the extra 2 minutes, Phil. McLean gets an extra 2. McLean gets the extra 2. So Morrell did not see the elbow from Franciscetti. McLean comes in there. McLean and Franciscetti get 2 minutes each on sportsmanlike conduct and an extra 2 for McLean.
Sam, I disagree with you because he had his hand up in the air to call it. And I think he called the original elbowing on Franciscetti, but they said unsportsmanlike conduct, didn't it?
That's it. That's right. McLean gets 2 for cross-checking.
Well, now that surprised me because he did have his arm up in the air. Right here against the glass, closest to us, by the blue line, right by the blue line as you look at your screen.
A little work being done on the ice by the linesman.
Well, that's a broken stick. I believe Franciscetti broke his stick. Now, to answer that question, Sam, it depends, I think, on the team. But I look at that Shanahan's gone for Greg Smith. Well, Greg Smith didn't play all that much anyway. Shanahan was playing regular, especially with Kirk Muller out. You got McLean in the box. You got Wolanin in the box, Maley in the box. All guys that play regular on the first 3 lines. And for the Washington Capitals, you got Greenlaw, who doesn't play regular, Adams, who plays regular, and Francis Kenny, who doesn't play regular. So
we'll see. We'll see if it works to the Caps' advantage. They're on a power play. 18 minutes, 28 seconds to go, second period. Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito at the Meadowlands Arena. This is Game 3, Patrick Division Final. Series tied a game apiece. New Jersey leading Washington 3-1. Caps are on their 3rd power play of the game. They're 1 for 2. They scored on the last one. They have Murphy and Stevens at the points. Christian, Pavanka, and Gustafson up front. Belichick breaks it up. Belichick on with Sorella, Loisel, and Brown. This is Brown forcing Murphy. Good play by Doug Brown. Belichick, long shot, score! A short-handed goal. And the New Jersey Devils lead 4-1.
Well, if I was Brian Murray, I'd pull the goalie right now just to make a change, because that was a real easy goal that should not have gone in. And Malarchuk just missed it.
You coached a little bit, because that's what Murray's going to do. Pete Peters is starting to get ready.
Yes, he is. Okay, let's take a look at it. Here's Murphy with the puck. And it just goes back to the point. Here's Belichick. He just shoots it. Loisel touched that puck, but still went through the legs of Malarchuk. And 3 out of the 4 goals have been through the legs of Malarchuk. Here's another look at it. Loisel right there. Deflects that puck, changes its direction, into the net.
Doug Brown, a big play, checking Murphy, forced that giveaway.
Well, it all started, Sam, on the first rush. About 10 or 15 seconds earlier, Scott Stevens went across to Gustafson, who made a cross-ice pass that was intercepted by Belichick right here, who threw it down, and they went after him.
So, with the Devils leading 4-1, the Washington Capitals will go back to Pete Peters. So the move to Malarchuk did not bring the results they had hoped. Pete Peters is 5-3 in the playoffs. He led the National Hockey League in goals against average in the regular season.
From what I understand, too, Pete Peters, I was told by somebody that played with Pete, does not like coming in the middle of a game.
Claude Loisel gets the goal, his 2nd of the playoffs. A shorthanded goal, the Devils' 4th shorthanded goal of the playoffs. Belichick gets the assist, but Doug Brown right there made a big play, forcing the giveaway that leads to the shorthanded goal. Devils 2 goals in the first 2:01 of this second period. Now lead it 4-1.
Well, the last 2 goals that the New Jersey Devils have scored have come from giveaways because of checking. Loisel checked on number 2 Galley. Sundstrom scores the goal. And now Brown checking on Murphy, and Loisel scores the goal.
Caps on the power play. Send out Hunter, Ridley, and Gardner.
There's a guy that hasn't played much this game so far as Hunter. I haven't noticed him. You haven't called his name a lot.
Just that one time when he got feisty in the first period and took himself off when the penalties were called. Still waiting for the equipment adjustment on Pete Peters, trying to cover those elbow pads again.
Well, Peters likes to have his sweater up above the elbows, and no equipment's supposed to be exposed, like shoulder pads or arm pads or anything like that.
And interesting, the giveaways by Galley and Murphy, the defensemen leading to the goals. You have to wonder if those plays would have been made if Langway were back on defense.
Brian Murray, I'm surprised he doesn't try Brent Ledyard on the power play. He is a good power play man, a point man, and I have not seen him once on the power play.
Giveaway. Here's Ridley. Good hit by Gardner on Belichick. And the puck worked up the boards and out by Anders Carlson. Sundstrom and Carlson on with Sorella and Belichick for New Jersey. Belichick unable to clear. You know, it did go across the line. Hatcher brought it back in, and now we've got Sundstrom and Hunter. again, Dale Hunter trying to get something going. 3 players for each team are already in the penalty box. 1 for each team have been ejected from the game for match penalties. And the chant of Peters, Peters, as they try to get on the Washington goalie. Dale Hunter goes into the box.
Right now, Washington is frustrated. And a lot of these things, like Dale Hunter's penalty right here, is a frustration thing. I don't think that's going to get his team going at all. He's more important on the ice at this stage on a power play with 54 seconds to go than taking a penalty like that.
They're waiting for it.
That guy's sitting there all by himself.
Those 5 guys look like they were waiting for a train. 27 minutes each team tonight. Sundstrom for roughing, Hunter for roughing at 2:39. They had 162 minutes in penalties on Wednesday night. Now at 54. Caps power play. Ridley shoots, saved by Burke. That's the first shot on goal for the Caps. We've only played 2 minutes and 50 seconds of the second period. Seems like we've played an hour. Gardner along the boards. Long shot. Saved. Burke covers the rebound.
One thing the Devils do very, very well is they cover up. And if there is a rebound, they don't even look at the puck. They wait for the guy. Watch Belichick here. On the left of your screen, look at him looking around. Okay, now watch the shot comes. Now watch him turn. He sees the puck and watch him turn right away to protect. And Brown take his man.
34 seconds to go in the power play for Washington. Tom Mees, what's happening at the Boston Garden?
Well, I'll tell you, Sam Rosen, the Montreal Canadiens have a power play opportunity. They're still trailing the Bruins 1-0. Let's go there live and join Bob Cole, Dick Urban, and Harry Neal to describe what's going on in the second period.
Into the crowd. I'm Bob Cole with Harry Neal and Dick Urban at the Boston Garden. 8:17 remaining in the second period, and a first period score by Mo LeMay. Boston has stood up so far. Right now, the Canadiens have the man advantage.
Montreal controlled the puck very nicely. Here's their best chance. Naslund can't get the shot away. And boy, one place it's dangerous to be in this garden is in front of the Bruin net.
You know, the Canadians did the right thing there. They got the open man. Briefly was their top sniper on the ice, Mats Naslund. But good play by Wesley, who had been hauled down by McPhee, and the fans yelled for a Montreal penalty. Wesley recovered from a bit of a tangle in front of the net and got his stick on it.
Bobby Smith, Darlene, Lemieux, Chelios, and Robinson. Chelios winds up, drives it, hit the crossbar. The Canadians have come that close. One on the post and now one on the crossbar. And the puck is out into the center ice area. Still 1-0 Boston. 1:15 left in the Boston penalty. The Canadians going to try to tie it again. Into the corner, Kluzak. He has the puck loose. Now Robinson looks back to the line. Chelios. His shot didn't get through. The Bruins get it out. Casper and Middleton, penalty killers, get it up to center ice. Lemieux is nailed by Kluzak. Puck is cleared to center to Casper, and Robinson takes over. Now to Lemieux. Coming to the line, Bobby Smith was stopped by Bourque. Down the ice it goes, and Patrick Waugh has to leave the net as he sees Casper coming in. 40 seconds left on this power play for the Canadians. They have come close. A post and a crossbar. Fired into the zone. Talbot has it for Boston. And he fired it high, and it went over the glass into the crowd.
Very much, Bob Cole. Still no power play goals in that series between Montreal and Boston, and we're in the second period of Game 3. Now let's get back to the second period, Game 3. New Jersey leading Washington 4-1. Rejoin Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito.
Thanks, Tom. And the Devils are on a power play with 15:42 to go in the second period. Larry Murphy took a slashing penalty at 3:42, which came when Pat Verbeek came out of the penalty box and was set in on a breakaway.
Right on a breakaway, and Pete Peters, who has just gotten into the net. Let's take a look at it. Here's the pass up. Now Verbeek, and you'll see Murphy coming down, and he just whacks at Verbeek. But Verbeek gets his shot away, and it's a good save by Pete Peters in the Washington net. And you know, you come in cold like that, and he made a heck of a save right there.
Murphy for slashing. 42 minutes in penalties have been called in the first 4 minutes of this second period. 60 minutes in penalties, all told for the game. Devils 2 for 3 on the power play. Have Johnson, who has the 2 power play goals, out with Verbeek and Broughton, Curvers, and Driver. Kirk Muller has not returned to the lineup for the New Jersey Devils, who was injured in the first period. And we got some rough stuff. Stevens and Verbeek. But they separate. Stevens waves the stick at Verbeek.
Well, he's mad because a lot of stick work was used on him. There's a minute and 2 seconds left on the power play.
Johnson bumped by Gould, taken away by Kelly Miller. Miller with a backhander that hits the outside of the net. Miller tied up along the boards. Hatcher with a long shot, gloved by Burke, and he holds it. Good effort here. This is probably the best sustained effort that Caps have had. And now the linesmen separate Stevens and Verbeek as they were about to go at one another.
Well, Stevens is very upset at Verbeek. You'll see it. There's a Broughton first, and now Verbeek comes in, and Stevens knocks him down, and you see the stick up around the face, and Stevens still pushes it down. But I think he's more angry not at Verbeek, but it was Broughton that started the trouble, and not Verbeek.
51 seconds to go in the Devils' power play. Devils leading 4-1.
The Devils are very, the Capitals are very frustrated. I think that we're going to have a lot more of this stuff before it's over.
The Capitals have got to, I think, though, regain their poise and concentrate on playing the game. I don't think there's no way that the Capitals are going to either outfight or outmuscle the Devils in this series.
No, they aren't. There's no way. The only way to beat them is on the ice by putting the puck in the net and stopping them more. That's it.
Gustafson and Loisel for the faceoff. You know, you mentioned Broughton being a good faceoff man, and Muller.
Loisel is good too.
Conacher taps it back. Belichick sends it in. The checking line is out for the remainder of this power play for the Devils. Loisel with Brown and Conacher. It's taken away by Gustafson.
Well, Schoenfeld likes to reward the players.
Nice move by Hatcher, getting in the backhander wide. Hatcher for a big one. Big man showing some speed. Brown coming in. His shot deflected by Ledyard. Laid up the boards by Gustafson. Kept in. Belichick feeds. Strider. Long shot. Save made. Loisel behind the net. Centers it. Blocked by Gustafson. Ledyard plays the boards. Pass. Driver all the way down. That'll do it.
Well, that's the first time that Ledyard have been killing penalties. I mean, usually he's on the power play.
Conacher lifts it ahead. 14-10 to go. Second period. 4-1. New Jersey leading Washington. Mike Ridley forced by Mark Johnson. Ledyard sending it ahead. It's knocked down by Joe Sorella. Grant Ledyard. Off the boards and off the glass inside the Washington bench. Devils leading Washington 4-1.
It's no big deal. It's a pain. No, Carrie. It's called a Master Care car service. Brakes, alignments, tune-ups. The works. It's no big deal. And a 6-month or 6,000-mile warranty covers parts, labor, wherever they do Master Care service. From Seattle to Schnecksville. Sounds right, this Master Care. So right that fixing your car is no big deal.
Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. Master Care Car Service by Firestone.
I thought they just sold tires.
Welcome, my friends, to Goons Night Out in Boston. Lyndon Byers for the Bruins, Stephen Fletcher from Montreal on the left. On the right, John Kordick from Montreal, Jay Miller for the Boston Bruins. Just another quiet Friday evening at Boston Garden. And 14,000 people are enjoying their dinner and watching the Bruins leading Montreal 1-0. And we'll have Ringside Report, Part 2, in just a moment. Now let's get back to Lake Placid, New Jersey, the Meadowlands Arena. Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito.
Fight night at Boston Garden. Well, they brought up Fletcher for that purpose, and Jay Miller returned to the lineup just in time to get involved with John Kordick.
I'm surprised that it lasted to the second period before these four guys got involved. We were talking before the game, and we thought for sure it would be the first or second shift.
13:26 to go, second period here at the Meadowlands.
Let's take a look at it. Patrick Sundstrom coming in. on his backhand. See how he leans to block off the guy's sliding? You ever watch a guy go around the outside? If he's a left-hand shot and he's going around the outside, he'll lean into that and use his knee to block off the guy trying to get the puck.
You wind up, with a knee injury if a guy takes you out with a sliding check or something like that, a hip check.
It's the slash that you worry about just on the knee.
Murphy with Danico back. Murphy for Pivonka. Scores! Murphy! He faked to Pivonka and beat Sean Burke, and it's a 4-2 game. Quite a rush by Larry Murphy.
Well, when I watch this replay now, I think what happens here is Danico goes down and screens Burke, because Burke didn't look like he saw this puck. Either that or he thought Murphy was going to pass it. Now Pivonka comes up right in the middle there. Now watch Danico go down. And there's the shot, and Burke, he really doesn't react. And look at him look at Danico. That puck either was screened by Danico or it went off Danico. Let's take a look at it. Look at Burke pointing. I love it. Now watch it. Does it hit Danico? It does. It hits the back of his skate and goes into the corner.
The time of the goal, 6:51.
So the Caps get one back. It's a 4-2 game. Murphy with his third of the playoffs from Pivonka and Hunter at 6:51. Early in the second period. Boisel comes out in front, slides it through the crease. On the boards, Christian, caught up by Doug Brown. Hatcher's got the puck. Boisel checks in. In the corner, Pat Conacher. Conacher drops it off for Brown. Toward the net, off the stick to Pete Peters. Now Belichick, his shot hits the outside of the net. Brown tries to wrap it around. Peters won't let him do it. Well, he stopped. 12:35 to go, second period. Washington has got one back. Devils lead 4-2.
How well does your car stand up to heavy traffic?
Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito at the Meadowlands Arena, where the New Jersey Devils lead the Washington Capitals 4-2. Game 3 of this best-of-7 Patrick Division final.
Now that all the players are back from the penalty box, let's see if the Devils get back on track, because they had all these guys in the penalty box. Here we go again. Hunter, you can't see it on your screen. Just look at Wolanin down there. Was Hunter and Danico exchanging a few words, but the Devils had 4 or 5 guys that play regular in the penalty box. And the Capitals had 3 or 4 guys, but they weren't in the penalty box. Guys like Franceschetti and all that who don't play regular.
And Danico, a first-round draft pick of the New Jersey Devils in 1982. The second pick in the first round that year.
I like him. He's a good player.
The Devils have really grown together, Phil. Danico, Wolanin, Driver, Sorella. That shot by Galley knocked down with the right arm. Penalty call.
What a dive that was. But it worked. And Galley draws the penalty, and the Capitals go on another power play. And could close it to 1 goal.
Caps trying to get back in it. They've gotten 1 and will go on a power play. It's 4-2 New Jersey.
For all those striving to get to the top, this is a reminder of how much fun it is to get to the bottom.
1 calorie, just for the taste of it.
Bottoms up.
Diet Coke.
Also available in caffeine-free, both with 100% NutraSweet.
Here at the Meadowlands, New Jersey leading Washington 4-2 in the second period. Up in Boston, Boston holding on to a 1-0 lead. Understand Miller and Kordic are gone for the night. They've gotten match penalties in that game. And Fletcher and Byers got majors for fighting. Caps power play here. They're 1 for 3 for the game. Shot by Christian, saved by Burke. And it's cleared out of the zone. Word from the New Jersey locker room is Kirk Muller has a bruised bicep.
That could only come from a cross-check across the arm.
Christian moves in. Christian against Sorella. Still with a puck, David Christian. Leaves it for Dale Hunter. Gustafson is on as well with Murphy and Stevens. Long shot knocked down by Belichick. Swung on and missed by Dale Hunter. Strike one on him. Murphy along the boards. Controls. Murphy looking to shoot. Saved by Burke. And he covers up. Hunter battles Sorella and Loisel.
Look at Gustafson. He's got to get in there and help his teammate.
2-on-1. The penalty, by the way, was Danico for holding at 7:47. Sean Burke making a couple of tough saves. Murphy got into good shooting position.
Dale Hunter always in the middle of things, it seems. When they made that trade, I tell you, I was at the next table. I was upset. I wanted Dale Hunter. Here's the shot. Now watch Hunter come in and whack at it. And there's the elbow by Sorella. And then he rubs his face. The glove, and now Loisel comes in, and Hunter's all by himself with two of them. And takes them both on, and who's going in the penalty box?
Hunter and Sorella go off.
Loisel could have got a penalty there also.
I think the Caps wanted that, but it didn't happen. Sunday afternoon, big day for the NFL. The 1988 draft, and ESPN is proud to be there to bring it to you live, as we've been bringing you the NFL draft for several years. And we've got quite a team to bring it to you. Chris Berman, Pete Axtell, Tom Jackson, Mel Kiper, Bob Lee, Paul Zimmerman, and casts of thousands to bring you the NFL draft. Begins at noon Eastern time, live from the Marriott Marquis Hotel in New York.
Hunter and Sorella get roughing penalties at 8:31.
Caps remain on the 5-on-4 power play advantage. Shots on goal for the game. Washington 15, New Jersey 13. Devils 4 shots on goal here in the second period, but 2 have been in the net. And the puck cleared by Driver. Stevens picks it up. Pat Conacher meets him. Murphy. He's skating very well tonight. Murphy across, controls the puck, leads Ridley. Ridley checked by Driver, back to the point. Shot by Stevens, save Burke. Driver's got it. Good point shot by Stevens.
Greg Adams is really, he and Dale Hunter are the only two Capitals that go and head for that net all the time. The other guys stay in the perimeter. They go on the outside a little bit.
Ridley. Forced by Conacher. 30 seconds to go on the Washington power play. Stevens leads Ridley. Off his stick. Broken up by Belichick. And Driver clears. Brown moving after the puck. Gets to it. Leads Loisel for the sharp angle shot off the pads and Peter. Stevens. Ridley's pass. Broken up by Brown. 10 seconds to go on the Washington power play. Ridley finds a pad in, and he's knocked down. Good check by Driver. Ridley blocks it along the boards. Here comes Gartner. Gartner moves in. He shoots. He scores! Just as the power play ended, Mike Gartner, moving in beautifully, gets his second goal of the playoffs. And Washington has cut the New Jersey lead to 1.
Well, it all started right along the boards. Watch this. I believe this is Belichick. He just whacks at it. It hits Ridley. Here's another whack at it. Hits Ridley. And then Gartner picks up. Watch the right of your screen. I don't know whether you see Hatcher coming in. Hatcher's coming there, but you don't see it in Gartner. He goes on his forehand and puts it in. There comes Hatcher. But he was there wide open, and I think Burke saw it. See that? It hit Ridley in the seat of the pants. Loisel, here's another look at it. On his back and feet, and you see Hatcher coming in. And I believe Burke saw Hatcher coming and thought he's going to pass it.
Adams did a great job in front, tying up the defenseman. And the Caps have cut it to 1. Just past the midway point of the second period. Devils had a 4-1 lead. It's now 4-3. Ledger sending it in off the glove of Wolanin. Taken back by Gould. Caps have really come to life. Blocked by Danico. Miller checked by McLean. Gould chased by Danico. McLean tied up by Kelly Miller. Gould takes the puck, and he's knocked down. Good check by Wolanin. Devils can't get out of the zone. Caps with good pressure. Now Danico finds Maley. And it's broken up the line by Hatcher. Greenlaw gets to the puck. He shoots wide. Jeff Greenlaw.
The Washington
his
goal,
first playoff
unassisted
game.
goal, scored by
Here's
number
Johnson.
11.
Hatcher plays it. You can see the Caps skating with much more authority.
It's funny, you know, how when you get make a change in goaltending, the team just picked up, and I think all the fighting. Oh, here we go, and some more pushing and shoving.
Icing was called on the play, so the Caps defenseman
Verbeek again
joined the fray.
In there for sure. I know Verbeek's in there. There he is. I don't know who he was involved with. Francis Sketty, it looks like.
The Washington goal was Gardner unassisted at 9:50 to cut it to 4-3, and it came just as the power play had ended.
Unassisted. Mike Ridley should get an assist.
I would
on
think
that
so.
goal.
Yeah.
Hit him in the seat of the pants, and he passed it over to Gardner.
8:52 to go in the second period. Caps with 9 shots on goal. Devils with 5. Tom Mees standing by in our studio. Tom?
All right, Sam. Stanley Cup hockey is not all the time scoring goals, but saving them. Lemieux to Ryan Walter. Canadians look like a sure goal-scoring chance here, but Reggie Lemelin stops it once and stops it twice. Reggie Lemelin, who stopped 27 shots in Game 2, is standing on his head again tonight. It's still 1-0 Boston. Sam?
Good shot.
He's playing super for them. He is quite a goaltender, that man.
He'll be a free agent at the end of this season. Just in case you didn't know, Mr. General Manager. We've just gotten word. I'm about to fall out of my chair here. Those poor Baltimore Orioles are down 9-0 as they head for loss 16 in a row.
That's in the second inning.
Maybe they should just stop the game. Mercy. Don't they have a mercy rule? Long shot by Blackman. Nice save made by Peters. Sundstrom gets it in the corner. Carlson comes out. Centers. It's squirted through Murphy. Bounces past Peters. They score. How about that? Careless play by the Caps. An inability to clear the puck. And the Devils lead 5-3.
Well, this is just plain carelessness, as you say, Sam, by the Washington Capitol defenseman. Okay, first off, Scott Stevens lost his edge and fell down. Now, watch the puck come out here. Good back checking by Gustafson. Now, the puck is poked by Peters. And watch Carlson here. He just bangs at it, and it goes up and over Peters into the net.
Bad goal if you're a Washington Capital fan. A great one and a big lift for the New Jersey Devils as Anders Carlson inserted into the lineup with Perry Anderson out. They had an option. Jim Schoenfeld was thinking about going to the rookie Troy Crowder. came up to New Jersey from juniors.
There was a bad play by Peters right there. He poked it, but he'd already committed himself, and it was just a bad goal all around.
5-3 New Jersey. Sorella fires off the boards. Ledyard keeps it in. Miller tied up by Brown.
Got to give these Devils credit, boy. I'll tell you, they're never, ever, even though it looked like the Capitals are coming back, the Devils didn't quit again, and they came back with the big goal.
Belichick takes the puck away. Now it's Doug Brown getting out. Brown joined by Loisel. Long shot off the stick of Peters and into the crowd. The goal scored by Anders Carlson at 11:39 gives New Jersey a 5-3 lead.
The Porsche 944. The Volvo 740 Turbo Wagon. To you, they're two completely different cars. But to a radar gun, they look exactly alike.
Here at the Meadowlands, the New Jersey Devils leading the Washington Capitals 5-3. Game 3 of the Patrick Division Final. And Boston is leading Montreal 1-0. Montreal on a power play in the second period. Mo LeMay got the goal for Boston. Don't forget tomorrow night from the Northlands Coliseum, Game 3, Calgary and Edmonton. Mike Emmerich and Joe Clement will bring you all the action from that one. Sunday night will be in Boston. Bill and I will bring you Game 4, Montreal and Boston. Shot by McLean is sticked aside. Near side, Maley. He's tied up by Gould, and out comes Gould. Wolanin and Danico get back. Gould lost the puck. Danico moving it up the boards and sent out by Johnson. Danico plays it. Hatcher sends it the other way, and Gould puts it in the Devil zone. Wolanin back for it. Checked by Pavanka. Dale Hunter, long shot into the chest of Sean Burke, and he holds it. 6:57 to go, second period. New Jersey leading 5-3.
Dale Hunter causing trouble again. Just as he released that shot, Wolanin gave him quite a check, and he skated back past Wolanin with his stick up in the air. There's Sean Burke yelling and talking. Wants the linesman to come back there. I guess he had the puck.
Malarchuk and Peters. Burke has faced some tough ones.
Well, I agree with that. I think Burke has faced the tougher saves.
Peter Sundstrom on the draw against brother Patrick. That's something you don't see that often. Twin brothers.
That is something, isn't it?
I believe Patrick says he's the older one by about 30 minutes. He's my kid brother. Peter Sundstrom, one-time New York Ranger, traded to the Washington Capitals for a fifth-round draft pick. On the boards. Long shot by Gardner goes wide. The whistle stops play. Greenlaw involved, I believe, with Curvers.
Exactly, Sam, and they're both probably going to get roughing here.
Greenlaw, first-round draft pick in 1986 for Washington. And has made his physical presence known in this game. Tom Curvers, one-time Montreal Canadien.
Buffalo Sabre. Also, Curvers has really developed under Schoenfeld. I mean, he's played very, very well for them down the stretch and in the playoffs.
Schoenfeld has really helped the Devils' defense. 6:49 to go here in the second period at the Meadowlands. Up in Boston, there's action going on. Tom?
All right, Sam. Short-handed. Here comes Rick Middleton of the Bruins on a breakaway. Nobody's going to catch him. The only question is, will Patrick Waugh make the save? Middleton gains control, cruises in, shoots. Waugh gets a piece of it, but look at this. Bob Sweeney with Chris Chelios all over him, pokes it in the net. Sweeney scores from Middleton short-handed. It's Boston 2 and Montreal nothing. Sweeney is excited, and Patrick Waugh, the Montreal goaltender, is not. Let's go back to New Jersey, Sam.
That tells it all when you're a goaltender, right? Curvers and Greenlaw 2 minutes each for roughing at 13-11. They remain at full strength on the ice, with New Jersey leading 5-3. Gary Galley pulled down by Broughton. They play on. Knocked away by Brown and sent into the Devil zone. And played by Bruce Driver. Forced by Peter Sundstrom. And hit by Francis Getty. And a whistle stops play along the boards. Bill, I haven't called Pat Verbeek's name in a while. I believe he's on the bench, but he has not seen much ice time. That's Anders Carlson, I believe. Yep.
Yeah, well, Verbeek got on the ice twice, Sam, and don't forget he got 2 penalties. Here, he gets nailed right here by Francis Getty. What an elbow. Oh, boy. You can see he's shaking the cobwebs right there.
6:08 to go in the second period. The elbows have been high. There's been some stick work. We've had 2 players ejected. Lots of penalties called, especially here in the second period. And lots of goals scored. Devils have scored 3 here in the second, and the Caps have scored 2. Oh, Carlson said, wow, do I have a headache.
It looks like
a
it's
lot
not
worse
as,
than that.
Yeah, it's down lower. It looks like maybe his leg or something.
Maybe when he hit the ice. Gustafson, Christian, and Adams on for Washington, with Murphy and Ledyard at the points. Long shot by Murphy. Off the glove, and Burt score! He misplayed it. Burt thought he had it. It popped off the glove and into the net. So each goaltender guilty of a bad goal.
Well, in the first place, Loizal misses the face-off to Peter Sundstrom. Now watch how Sundstrom goes in, and he is tied up, and Loizal cross-checks him. But the shot, it's a simple shot, and Burke just misplayed it, hit his glove, and rolled into the net. Watch how Sundstrom gets it, and Loizal gets mad because Sundstrom beat him so easily, and there's the shot, and he just missed it. Into the net.
And it's a 5-4 game. This will stop the play, and Peters holds on to the puck.
But you see what I like about the Devils? Okay, they just scored, right? Against, they had a goal against them. And what do? They come right back, and they're the one that have the first opportunity. And that happens more often than not.
5:52 to go in the second period. Larry Murphy getting his second goal of the game. Jim Schoenfeld, who coached 50 games up in Buffalo. Murphy got the goal, his second of the game, 4th of the playoffs at 13:57. Johnson on with McLean and Maley. Velishek and Sorella for New Jersey. Hunter will take the face-off against Johnson. Devils without Kirk Muller for this entire second period. Suffered a bruised bicep. He's in the locker room being treated. No word on whether they hope to have him back in the third period. Velishek, nice move. Too far for Maley. Murphy sends it back the other way. Sorella moving in. Shoots. Knocked away with a blocker. On the boards. Murphy gave it away. Maley moves in. He shoots. And it's deflected wide.
That's what I mean about those cross-ice passes. That's a pure giveaway.
Murphy has scored a couple of goals. He's also given away the puck a couple of times. Offside cap coming in. 5:10 to go. Second period. Shots are even at 19. New Jersey leading Washington 5-4.
Well, what a giveaway that was. That was one of the good ones. Brian Murray will not be happy about that. But in between periods they talk about it. But here's Maley's shot after the giveaway, and a good play by Ledyard to block that one. Now they got Sundstrom going at center between Verbeek and Broughton. I believe this is the first time Broughton and Verbeek have been out there together
in quite a while. Broughton going back into his own zone. Burke leaves it for Craig Wolanin. Ridley forechecking. So Sundstrom, who's been playing left wing on the line with Johnson and McLean, moved to center here with Verbeek and Broughton. With Muller.
They're probably double shift.
Yeah, Muller in the locker room with the injured arm. Up the boards. Whistle stopped play. The late offside had been called by the linesman Swede Knox. 4:42 to go in the second period. Tomorrow night to the Northlands Coliseum, where Edmonton will be on home ice for the next 2 games, leading the series with Calgary 2-0. Detroit has a 2-0 lead over St. Louis, going to St. Louis tomorrow night. Mike Emmerich and Bill Clement are in Edmonton.
St. Louis did not look good last night. I understand that they played much better the first game, but last night didn't look so good.
Peter Klima just took over offensively for Detroit as well. Steffen getting the shutout. Danico keeps it in. Hatcher able to play it. Gartner along the board. Long shot by Danico. Score! The defense has gone away for these teams. It's 6-4 New Jersey.
So back in their own zone, I believe Dougie Brown deflected this shot by Kenny Danico. Let's take a look at it. Here's Danico coming in. What's the right side of your screen? Let's see. Right there. Doug Brown deflects it. Again, a good, low, hard shot by Danico. Along the ice, but Hatcher has the puck. Then Gardner has the puck, and it's a giveaway. 2 times. Here's a shot. Watch the deflection. Beautiful deflection. And Loisel deflected that, too.
2 deflections going in.
Yeah. Let's take a look at this closer. Now, there's Brown deflected. Loisel, I believe both of them deflected it.
We'll see if the official scorers saw it. In any event, it's a New Jersey goal. And with 4:15 to go, the Devils have regained a 2-goal lead. Gary Galley goes into the corner, tries to center. He's hit by Sorella. Shot by Gould. Glove knocked down. I don't believe he saw that one, Phil. But Burke has mishandled 2 shots with a glove. One cost him, the other one, he had to follow up with a tough save. 3:45 to go. These 2 teams outstanding defensively. The Devils coming in and the Caps all season long. And right now, 10 goals have been scored with 3.5 minutes to go in the second period. Stolen by Broughton. Broughton centers. And Adams with a good job on Belichick. Tied him up. Uses the puck to get out of the zone. Battle along the boards. Gould goes down. So does Verbeek. Verbeek lost his helmet.
Wow, no penalty.
Verbeek goes after Gould. Galley hit by Broughton. Galley hit by Verbeek. Verbeek goes at somebody. And another get together.
Guess you started it again. Dale Hunter.
Well, Verbeek was right in there, too. The goal for New Jersey credited to Doug Brown. Danico and Loisel the assist at 15:33. As Verbeek and tries to get at Bobby Gould. Now Adams and Belichick have dropped the gloves. Swede Knox gets in there. Phil, whatever the linesmen get, it's nowhere enough. They've got the toughest job in the world in trying to break up all these get-togethers and these potential fights. 3:08 to go, second period. New Jersey leading 6-4.
How well does your car stand up to heavy traffic?
Here at the Meadowlands Arena, 3:08 to go as things settle down for the moment at least.
You know, it was really funny when we went away for commercial. Schoenfeld was wrapping the kind of stick and wrapped it against the boards to get the attention of Kenny Danico, and then got him over to the bench, grabbed him, and looked like, you know, he's telling him, hey, settle down. We don't want to get into that stuff. We need you on the ice.
Adams and Belichick both go to the locker rooms. They're finished for the period. 16:52 time of the penalties.
They must have got misconducts then.
No, 4 minutes each. 2 minutes each for roughing, 2 minutes each unsportsmanlike conduct. Adams and Belichick go off. New Jersey Devils without Kirk Muller, who was injured in the first period.
And Shanahan, who got thrown out of the game early in the second.
Loisel against Gustafson for the faceoff. Gary Galley goes back to play it. Bowling Green product. Gary Galley. Blocked by Driver again. The Caps having trouble getting the puck out of their own zone. Stevens gets it to Gustafson. Conacher goes over. Pat Conacher played for the Edmonton Oilers when they won the Stanley Cup in 1984. Galley comes loose with a puck. His shot deflects across. Stevens shoots, saved by Burke. Burke looking a little unsteady here, Phil.
Yeah, he doesn't look as sharp as he did in that first period.
Stevens back for the puck. Sorella breaks it up. Here comes David Christian. 2:25 to go, second period. Try to center, blocked by Sorella. Played by Johnson. And a whistle stops play. Penalty call. Looks like Sorella for holding.
I think
Driver.
Yeah, but Sorella could have got an elbowing penalty for sure. Driver took Kelly Miller down in front of the net. Well, here's another chance for the Caps to get within one. Every time they get within one, the Devils come storming right back to make it a 2-goal lead.
Following the second period, Tom Mees will update you on what's going on up in Boston, between Boston and Montreal on the Prudential scoreboard. Stay with us. Bruce Driver didn't like the call at all. 17:41 the time of the penalty.
And he gets 2 minutes for holding.
So Washington power play. They capitalized late in the first period on a power play chance when they were down 2-0. And Christian scored. Caps are 1 for 4 on the power play tonight. Devils have 2 power play goals and a shorthanded goal. New Jersey leading 6-4 with 2:19 left in the second period. Game 3 of this best-of-7 Patrick Division final. Dennis Morrell goes over to Jim Schoenfeld, and I think he's told him that's enough. I don't want to hear anymore.
Sorella was over there, and Schoenfeld was talking to him. He's just trying to slow it down to give his players a little bit of a rest. And Morrell went over and said, let's get going here, because it could be a 2-minute delay of game penalty.
Ridley back to the point. Murphy is there. Around the boards. Hunter behind the net. Ridley, Hunter, and Gartner up front. Hatcher and Murphy at the point. Here comes Hunter. Saved by Burke. Backs the rebound up in the air.
But you notice that nobody was in front of the net. If Hunter doesn't go or Adams doesn't go, nobody goes.
They were all over Hunter. First Danico, and then Burke knocked him down. Gartner takes the puck. Gartner brings it across the line. Gartner against Sorella. Cross ice to Ridley. Can't handle the pass. And it's taken back by Doug Brown.
In front of him. And Burke knocked down Hunter. He got up. Danico knocked him down. He got up, and then Burke knocked him down again.
And you want these guys to go in front of the net and take that beating? Here comes Gartner. Long shot. Wide. And it's pulled out by Conacher. 1:05 to go in the penalty to Bruce Driver. 1:20 to go in the second period. New Jersey leading 6-4. Washington did score a goal just after the last power play attempt ended. Burke's got to play the puck off the glass and into the crowd.
Hit the glass first. I can tell by your voice that you're wondering.
Well, that anticipation of a possible penalty against the goaltender. Dennis Morrell skates over. Let's see if he'll say anything.
No, because what happened was once it hits the glass, it's no penalty if it goes out after.
1:06 left in the period, 47 seconds to go, and the man advantage.
Let's take a look at this. Dale Hunter, there's one. There's Burke, give him a little bit, knocks him down. Now then Danico pushes him, then Burke pushes him again.
He didn't know where he was going.
It's like a ball.
He looked like a guy in a spin the bottle game. They kept spinning him around.
One thing, that's what you get for going so close to the net. If you back out a little bit, you never get it. I never got it. That,
really?
You back out a little bit.
They used to whack your legs.
Well, I let Cashman go and take the beat.
He used to have those black and blue legs.
That's true, too.
1:06 to go in this period. Rolling puck played by Danico. Can he clear it? Up the boards. Blocked by Galley. Good play. Galley is tied up by Loisel. Pavanka to Gustafson. To Pavanka. His pass was blocked. He tried to get it through to Christian.
And a perfect spot to shoot. Absolutely perfect spot to shoot. Hash marks in the slot. And try to pass.
Galley has the puck. 22 seconds to go in the Washington power play. Gustafson across. Holds it. Beats Galley. Long shot. Wide. Looking for a deflection from Christian. Stevens plays it along the boards to Gustafson. Waits. Has Galley over at the right point. Plays to Christian. Pass blocked. Sorella bangs it off the boards. And out of the zone. That'll do it. Sundstrom gonna beat him. Sundstrom coming in. All alone. Sundstrom scores! With 15 seconds to go in the second period.
Here's where it hurts, because Scott Stevens is dead tired. He cannot push any more than he has, and Sundstrom just beats him to the puck, goes in and beats it with a great shot past Pete Peters. Another look at it. Watch that goalpost left of your screen. That's where it went right off his blocker into the net.
Scott Stevens has to play so much time.
He was tired. Right here, look. Watch. Stevens sees the puck. He's trying, but he just can't reach it. And then Sundstrom just outraced him to it. He was on the ice for this whole period.
Patrick Sundstrom has played his best hockey for the Devils in the playoffs, in the rush for fourth place, down the stretch, and in the playoffs. Second period is over. Standing ovation here at the Meadowlands. Sundstrom, second of the game at 19:45, has given the New Jersey Devils a 7-4 lead. The Devils scored 5 goals in the second period, and they lead by 3 at the end of 2.
Love in the 90s. It might be better than you think.
I have a spot of Harvey to living, talking all night. I have a spot of Harvey to create. No, Mr. Right. Harvey's Bristol cream.
It's terrible, terrible.
Very, very.
Upper.
Like it rusty.
Upper crusty.
Harvey, chérie?
Your palace or mine?
No big deal. Tune-ups?
It's MasterCare Car Service.
Great tune-ups with a computer that talks to your car.
Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. MasterCare Car Service by Firestone.
I thought they just sold tires.
Presenting the G-Shock watch from Casio. The water-resistant sports watch that's ready for action. With a built-in shock absorber. It's tough. So tough, this G-Shock can take a slap in the face and not even flinch. The Casio G-Shock, one tough watch to beat. The G-Shock is only one of Casio's unbeatable high-tech products.
The contenders. The Fried Big Mac. The Flame-Broiled Burger King Whopper. The winner. The Whopper. The reason? Taste.
We do it like you do it when we do it like we do it at Burger King.
Once Oren gets on his Murray, you just can't pry him off. But don't you worry, our dinner reservations aren't till 9 anyway.
When you pay good money, you want a good mower.
Murray mowers are as tough and dependable as they come. Cutting after cutting after cutting after cutting.
I believe he's leaving.
Maybe he's going to meet us at the restaurant.
I bet you're right.
Welcome back to our Road to the Cup studios, everyone. I'm Tom Mees. Count them, 8 goals in that second period in New Jersey. 5 of them scored by the home team, the New Jersey Devils, and the final one in that period, a shorthanded goal by Patrick Sundstrom with just 16 seconds left to go in the period. Could be the crusher, because after 2 periods now, it is the New Jersey Devils leading by 3 goals, 7-4, over the Washington Capitals. We'll be going up in a few moments to Boston Garden to check in on the third period action there as the Bruins lead Montreal 2-0. First of all, let's remind you of our next 3 stops on the Road to the Cup. Tomorrow night we'll be at Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton as the Montreal Canadiens, this is Sunday's game. The Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins Sunday at 7:30 Eastern Time. Game 4 of the Adams Division Final. Boston has just scored again to take a 3-0 lead tonight over Montreal. Monday we'll be at Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton, and that will be a game number 4 of the Smythe Division Finals. That'll be Monday at 9:30 p.m. So to quickly recap, Saturday we'll be in Edmonton, Sunday we'll be in Boston, Monday night we'll be back in Edmonton again. And we'll be back to check in with Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito live at the New Jersey Meadowlands, where about 20,000 are still standing and clapping and do a little partying. The Road to the Cup continues in a moment.
The City of Dearborn and the Dearborn Board of Realtors would like to invite you to the first annual Home and Garden Show. Come visit the dozens of exhibitors who can help with your spring remodeling and building needs. The show is free to the public and will be held from 10 till 6 Saturday, April 23rd and Sunday, April 24th at the Adre Ice Arena. And while you're at the show, make sure to stop by and see
Beckinger Heating and Cooling, suppliers of Honeywell's Media Air Filter, the best way to get clean air for your home. Look for us at the show.
Hi, I'm Larry the Liquidator with important news about another home furnishing giant who bites the dust. Bed and Bunk Sleep Shops, Metro Detroit's most reputable bedroom specialist, has had their $1 million inventory seized by a creditor and assigned to me for immediate public liquidation. It's all here condensed into their giant Plymouth Road store, where you'll find all the most prized names, styles, and collections of bedroom furniture and bedding for children and adults at prices that are reduced to 70% off and more on everything in this colossal stock. You must hurry because it won't last long. The end is here for Bed and Bunk on Plymouth Road, just west of Telegraph, Redford Township, permit number 2183.
Now shopping from the United States, Bud Light Jones, Bud McKenzie.
His name is Bud McKenzie, jumping for the USA. The Olympic golden sight, he's come to save the day.
It's 90 meters of snow and go, Spuds, go! Then Spud celebrates with Bud Light. He knows everything else is just a light.
Spuds, water my night with a cold Bud Light.
The New York Giants, first round selection.
Lawrence Taylor, linebacker, North Carolina.
Oakland's first round selection, running back, Marcus Allen of USC. Chicago selection, Jimmy McMahon, quarterback, Brigham Young.
Super Bowl champions are built on draft day. Coverage of the 1988 NFL Draft begins Sunday at noon Eastern, live on ESPN.
Welcome back to our Road to the Cup studios. Before we go to Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito in New Jersey, let's update you on that Boston Bruins Montreal Canadiens battle. It's turning Boston's way tonight. Inside the first minute and a half of the first period, the Bruins got on the scoreboard again to make it 3-0. We're going to show you that goal now. Coming up, Ken Linsman will take the shot. Saved by Waugh. Comes out to Keith Crowder. Looks like he's going to shoot, doesn't it? No. A perfect pass to Gord Kluzak, who puts it in. Kluzak gets the goal. And it's Boston 3, Montreal 0. So the Bruins really have a big edge now, a big leg up in trying to go up in this series 2-1. Remember, they haven't beaten the Montreal Canadiens in a playoff series since 1943. And we'll be up at the Boston Garden for the Game 4 of this series Sunday night. You know, the Bruins haven't beaten the Canadiens in the playoffs since a guy named Esposito played for them. I wonder what he's doing now. Oh, he's busy tonight in New Jersey. Let's go to Sam and Phil at the Meadowlands.
I'll tell you that Bruins-Canadiens rivalry is quite a rivalry, and it'll be interesting to see Game 4 with Boston looking like they're going to take a 2-1 lead.
Well, I'm looking forward to that game up there, but I'll tell you right here, the Devils are playing outstanding hockey. They let Washington back into the game 5-4. Bango, they come right back, and they just poured it to them. And You got to give this Devil team a lot of credit.
Twice Washington got to within 1 goal, 4-3 and 5-4, as you mentioned, and the Devils keep answering back. And they're without Kirk Muller. He will not be back in this game. He's got a bruised right arm, and that's a big loss.
It is going to be a big loss for them. We'll see whatever happens in the pursuing games.
It's a long score sheet we have for you in the second period. There are a lot of goals scored, 8 in all, 5 by the Devils. It started in the first minute when Sundstrom scored. Then Loisel shorthanded made it 4-1. Murphy and Gardner scored, and it was 4-3. But then Carlson scored to make it 5-3. Washington came back. Murphy's second of the game made it 5-4. Then Brown and Sundstrom, and that late goal, that could really hurt the Washington Capitals, Phil.
Well, I think it's going to hurt them. I don't see the Capitals coming back after this one now in the third period, but this is a crazy game, I'll tell you that.
Sean Burke looked a little shaky in that second period. Maybe what he needs is that little break between periods to settle down. We'll see what happens when we return to the Meadowlands for the third period in just a few moments. We'll be going back to the studio to Tom Mees. Stay with us.
The Stanley Cup playoffs continue on TV 50. The Red Wings got the best of the pesky Maple Leafs and now face the St. Louis Blues. The Norris Division Championship is on the line, and Jacques Demers has to beat his old team to capture it and advance to the Conference Championship. It's all or nothing. The battle for the Cup continues with round 2 between the Detroit Red Wings and the St. Louis Blues, all live on your place for sports, TV 50.
Ace Sports Shop can get you ready for the softball season with top quality equipment like Wilson and Cooper softball gloves, softball bats by Easton and Steele, and we even sell Dudley and De Beer softballs by the dozen. Ace Sports Shop also offers quality customized silkscreen jackets, hats, and uniforms for your business club or team. Ace Sports Shop, located at 22105 West Warren in Dearborn Heights, just 1 mile east of Telegraph.
It is intermission time for the second time tonight. Time, as we always do at this time, to check out the Prudential scoreboard at the Boston Garden. The Bruins lead this game by a score of 3-0. Gord Kluzak scoring in the first minute or so of the third period of play, and we'll be checking in live to that game in just a moment. Remember, we'll have Game 4 of that series Sunday night at 7:30 right here on Road to the Cup. In our game, Patrick Sundstrom, the star for the New Jersey Devils, 5 points tonight, including 2 goals, and his last goal, a shorthanded effort right at the end. The second period has given New Jersey a 7-4 lead. And we'll be going live to the Boston Garden to check in on third period action between the Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens right after these commercial words. And that's it for another edition of the Prudential Scoreboard on the Road to the Cup.
We go above and beyond just like you, above and beyond what we have to do.
I'm a Prudential representative, and I help people review their life insurance needs because I know how much the right life insurance means to me and my family.
You take pride in your life, so do we. Going above and beyond is our policy. The Rock, the Prudential, above and beyond.
The challenge is ice hockey. The power is Nintendo. It's as slick as ice, as fast as fury. Throw in your shoulder, dig in your blade, blast it in, or be blown away. Ice hockey only from Nintendo. Play RC Pro-Am. Play with power. Pull up to the start. Taste the challenge. The power of radio control. If you can't take it, you'll eat dust. Radio controlled Pro-Am only from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power.
It's no big deal.
Brake jobs?
It's MasterCare Car Service. Premium brake jobs. Terrific warranty.
Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. MasterCare Car Service by Firestone.
But I thought they just sold tires.
This is it. Your day in the sun. You've got experience, talent. You know that being hungry isn't enough. You gotta have equipment you can depend on. The charcoal that brings power and consistency to your game. Then, and only then, can you bask in the glow of victory. Kingsford charcoal, what the pros use.
Round of lights here?
If
If you want the one light that outshines them all, ask for Bud Light.
Let me know when you're ready for another round.
A fairy tale season when Cinderellas conquered giants. Relive it all in a college basketball special. A season of upsets. Friday night at 10:30 Eastern on ESPN.
The Road to the Cup on ESPN is being brought to you by the 1988 German-engineered Volkswagens and your Volkswagen dealers. And by the crisp, clean, imported taste of Labatt's Blue. It's blue heaven. We'll be set for the start of the third period between the New Jersey Devils and the Washington Capitals. And as Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito said, anything can happen in a wacky game that has given up 8 goals in the second period. And that third period will start in just a few moments. It'll be interesting to see if the Devils can hang on without their spark. Their captain, Kirk Muller, he is out for the rest of the game with a bruised bicep. Remember, a thing that's almost been overlooked now that we're a little bit deeper into the series, Rod Langway, injured in Game 1 of the series, of course, is out for at least this series. Should the Caps come back and win the series, of course, and advance to the Wales Conference Finals, Langway may, and we say may, be available. Meanwhile, up at the Boston Garden tonight, the Montreal Canadiens and Boston Bruins came in tied at 1 in the Adams Division Finals. Mats Naslund was back on the ice for Montreal. But the Canadiens are still the injured ball club in more ways than one, because the Bruins lead it 3-0. About 4 minutes into the third period. Let's check in live at the Boston Garden. Bob Cole, Dick Urban, and Harry Neal.
This is Bob Cole with Harry Neal and Dick Urban at the Boston Garden, where the Bruins are just about to take a 2-1 lead in this Adams Division Final. 3-0 is the score in the third period. LeMay in the first. Sweeney, a shorthanded goal in the second. Kluzak has scored here in the third period at 1:46 for Boston. They're leading 3-0. Canadians. Bobby Smith slides a long pass to center that bounces by everybody. Lemieux going in. Bourque after him. Ray Bourque strong on defense again tonight for Boston. Picked it up and cleared it away. Casper falls on the check by Bobby Smith. Bourque again. Sidesteps and checked by the Canadian player Lemieux. There's Bourque on the puck again and shoots it in, and the Bruins make changes. Here come the Canadians. Boisvert passed it through center. Smith went up after it. Bobby Smith had it knocked away, and these Bruins do not give the Canadians much room to move. Crowder going in after Boisvert, who can skate. He dropped it behind the net as Crowder was all over him. Swoboda on this side. And it's dumped to the line and out. Boisvert moving up with Lemieux. Played it over in front for Smith, and Levelin made a nice save. Bobby Smith falling, trying to slide it in front, and there's Linsman. Coming out. Linsman, number 13 for Boston. The pesky forward got it in, but LeMay was offside, and the play is called.
And with the player shooting the puck after the offside whistle goes, it usually results in a scene like this. Harry, when he's at the top of his game, there is, of course, no finer defenseman in the NHL right now than Raymond Bourque. And tonight, not only defensively, but he has made some passes. I mean, he's made 3 that I can think of to Steve Casper. You talk about hitting the guy on the money, on the fly. Just beautiful to watch.
No question about that. He showed tonight why he won the Norris Trophy last year and might well win it again. And he has been very physical tonight, throwing 5 or 6 big body checks. What else can you ask? The guy hits, he blocks shots, he makes plays, he scores goals. He gives his sweater to Phil Esposito. You know, all-around hockey player.
Now, Bobby Smith had the last chance. And it hit Lemelin's stick low, just near the heel of the stick on the pass from Boisvert right there. It's only the 3rd shot the Canadians have had in this period.
Only had 17 in the game, and I'll bet they haven't had 5 good scoring opportunities.
Wow, what a shot by Bourque that went up high over the net, and Patrick Roy had to duck in a hurry. Offside. Bourque, I agree. He has been the outstanding player on the ice tonight for the Bruins, and you know, it's amazing. He hasn't got a point on the 3 goals yet.
Certainly is amazing. Speaks well of the Boston Bruins' depth. So the Bruins lead this game 3-0 in the third period of play. Third period just about to start. In fact, they've just dropped the puck in New Jersey. Let's return to the Caps and the Devils, Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito.
Thanks, Tom. And the Devils with a 3-goal lead. Malarchuk back in goal for Washington to start this third period. Pete Peters came into the game with a score 4-1 New Jersey and was touched for 3 goals. So still a 3-goal lead. Malarchuk left it 3 goals down, and he's back in 3 goals down. Gartner.
What he's doing here is giving Malarchuk some ice. There's a penalty. Doug Brown's going to go.
Pull down Kelly Miller. The late penalty on the Devils. Here comes Galley away with the puck. Moves it to Ridley. Extra skater on for Washington. Went all the way through the crease with Miller battling Sorella in front. Burke bats the puck, and the whistle stops playing. We got a power play coming up for the Washington Capitals. Holding is the call. Doug Brown is the guilty man. 48 seconds, the time of the penalty. In this game, Patrick Sundstrom has led New Jersey with 2 goals and 3 assists. Ken Danico has had a fine game with 3 assists. There's Clint Malarchuk.
I think what he's doing, probably giving Malarchuk some ice and some time, because Peters did play the last 3 games against Philadelphia. Played the 2 games in Washington and played 1 period, well, mostly 1 period here.
He doesn't want to look. Clint Malarchuk, who came to the Washington Capitals in the big off-season trade with a Quebec Nordiques, brought Dale Hunter along with him. Quebec getting Alan Haworth, who says he's going to Switzerland, going to play in Europe. He signed a 2-year deal. Gaetan Duchesne also went to Quebec and a first-round draft pick. Devils 2 for 4 on the power play. Washington 1 for 5. Caps 6th opportunity. He also scored a goal when 1 power play just expired. Gartner scored that goal. Sundstrom clears the puck. Loisel, Sundstrom, Danico, and Driver for New Jersey.
You know, more should be said about that last goal that Sundstrom scored with Scott Stevens, who's got the puck now. Scott just couldn't move. He was on the ice for so long, he was tired.
Murphy's long shot is wide. Comes through to Stevens for a long shot. That's deflected by Danico. Centered and comes all the way through. Hunter, Christian, Gustafson, Murphy, and Stevens on for Washington. Conacher chasing down. Malarchuk gave it away. Conacher's got the puck. Carlson goes back to Lennon. And a whistle stops play. Gustafson has some words with Morrell, who I believe has called penalties here.
I don't know what the problem is. Could be a hand pass, maybe. I don't know. I don't know why he blew the whistle.
Morrell's pointing at a couple of players, but no penalties have been called.
You know, Sam, I'm still very surprised that Grant Ledger does not play that power play.
I agree with you.
When he was with the New York Rangers, you and I did the broadcast then. He was excellent on the power play. In Los Angeles, he was good on the power play. And he has not seen any ice on the power play whatsoever.
If anything, that's his strength. If you're going to dress him, I would think that's where you would want to use him. He skates well and he shoots well. He's not a great defenseman by any means. Hatcher. But the men they're using, the 4 that they use, for the most part, are good. Galley is a good offensive player. Hatcher has had a good offensive year. And then Murphy and Stevens are their top assist men.
In a game like this, when Stevens is playing so much and your power play isn't doing much, you can try something else to give the kid a little bit of a rest.
Galley with the puck, finds Ridley. Back to Galley. Long shot deflected, knocked down, the backhander stopped. Pavanka got a quick backhander off. Burke made the save.
Well, Sam, I think I'm getting back into broadcasting because here I go again, second guessing everybody. It's so easy up here, you know that?
Well, you do that.
You can see Pavanka in front of that. He just misfired by putting that backhand on Burke, and Burke was able to make a save, an easy save.
Phil, you're here to get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, well, what's new? Give me news.
Michael Pavanka had really had an off year. Pavanka had a good year as a rookie. This year, not so good, and people were surprised by that. I think everyone expected better things from him.
Well, I thought he had a pretty good playoff against Philadelphia. I just saw Anders Carlson walking to the bench or to the locker room, so he's finished for the night probably.
Carlson bothered by a hip pointer when he was knocked down. That shot stopped by Burke, and Barker had the rebound knocked away from him by Belichick. Hatcher's got the puck. 20 seconds to go on the Washington power play. Here comes Gardner. Shot it wide. Galley moves it to Pavanka. Gardner had 19 power play goals in the regular season. Back pass to Galley. Now it's Hatcher. Wrist shot. Stopped by Burke. Couldn't control the rebound, and Ridley sent it through. Galley to Hatcher. To Ridley. Band on it. Kings back at full strength. Brown is on. Capture 1 for 6 on the power play. 2-on-1. Sundstrom with Hatcher back. Beats Johnson. Johnson shoots and scores! It's a hat trick for Mark Johnson.
And also the 6th point for Patrick Sundstrom. Malarchuk just missed this one. Totally missed it. Let's take a look at it. Watch this nice pass by Sundstrom right between the legs of Hatcher. Love that. That's a great pass. And Malarchuk goes down, and it just goes up over his left shoulder. I mean, underneath his armpit it looked like there, but he just missed it. Another look at it. Watch how Sundstrom passes this puck right between the legs. He sees him coming, skating, puts it between the legs. And Mark Johnson, just a quick snapshot under the armpit of Clinton Malarchuk into the net.
Caps had a chance to get back in the game with a power play. They failed. Devils turned it around. Mark Johnson, here's the roars and the ovation from the crowd for his hat trick and his 7th goal of the playoffs.
Sam, let me tell you, when you're sitting on a bench like this, you're sitting on a bench and the crowd is cheering like that, you really get the goosebumps up and down your spine.
17:01 to go, 3rd period. New Jersey leading 8-4.
The time of the goal is 2.
Volkswagen engineers have developed a remarkable fuel injection system, which gives our Jetta 17% more horsepower than before and top track speeds of over 100. Of course, there are those Volkswagen engineers who believe they've developed something no less remarkable. The brakes. 1988 Jetta, only $91.95.
Yes, the Capitals are being punished tonight. But you know what's also hurting? Their goaltending. It's not been good tonight at all.
It's not been good at all.
The Devils have poured it on. 8 goals. Mark Johnson, a hat trick. Patrick Sundstrom gets an assist. It gives him 6 points in the game. That is 1 short of the NHL record for points in a playoff game held by Wayne Gretzky, 7.
You know, this is good to see, too, for the New Jersey Devils and their fans and this franchise, Mr. McMullen and Lou Lamoriello and Max McNabb. We shouldn't forget Max McNabb either. Look at that youngster in the stands.
Can he play goal?
Probably in about, looks like 18, 19 years. But to see this kind of a reaction with this crowd and all that, it's terrific to see.
All right, what about the reaction of the Washington Capitals? This has got to be a huge loss for them, a demoralizing loss for them.
Well, I think that says it all right there. He just doesn't know which way to turn. But you can bet in the locker room after this game, indeed, if it ends up as it is, or even worse, the guys will be saying, okay, that's okay. We were down 3-1 to Philadelphia, and we came back, but...
You know what, Phil? It's quite a story. These New Jersey Devils coming together and making a run into the playoffs. Now they believe that they have a shot at winning it all. They really believe it here. Tom Meese is standing by. What's happening in Boston, Tom?
Well, Sam, the Boston Bruins are beginning to believe they have a shot at winning it all. Montreal, though, is controlling the puck in the Boston zone. The Bruins lead at 3-0. Here's Bob Cole with an update from the Garden.
Bob Cole, Harry Neal, and Dick Irvin at the Boston Garden. The Bruins in a commanding 3-0 lead with 7:45 left in the 3rd period. Right now, the puck fired over the boards at the Canadiens' bench. Ryan Walter was alert and grabbed it. The Bruins are short-handed, and 16 seconds remaining in their penalty. But the Canadiens are unable to get anything going.
Harry, you wonder who is really short-handed. Montreal down by 3. That's when you need your offensive players. They had Rick Green playing the point on the power play. He has 2 lifetime goals in the Stanley Cup competition. He's playing around his 80th, 82nd game right now. So you've got Stéphane Richer at home watching it on television with his broken thumb. The guy who normally would be at that spot and taking his place is a defensive defenseman. So they are running short of able-bodied shooters. He's still out there. No knock on Rick. It's just not the time of the game that you usually see him on the ice.
The power play's been so abysmal, it looks like Jean Perron is trying anybody to see if it will work.
They've had 3 shots on the power play tonight, all in the first period. And they're going to be empty on this one, unless this one rolls in, and it does not. Raymond Bourque hammers it away, and the penalty is over again. Down the ice, Chelios picking it up. LeMay in the first, Sweeney in the second. Bluzak a goal here in the third. All Boston. 3-0. 7:05 to play in the third period. Canadians stay with it. Carbonneau's shot. That's blocked. What else is new? They can't get one through.
Ray Bourque's going to get all 3 stars. All 3 Molson stars. The 77 Ray Bourque.
Boston watching Carbonneau come up. Stopped at the line by Telvin. Long shot. That one got through to Lemelin. He just kicked it away. Canadians make changes. Play call. And it'll come back out near center ice with 6:43 to play.
Blue. Labatt's blue.
Evening is night.
Blue heaven.
I hurry to my
Smooth.
clean, crisp.
Labatt's blue.
Turn to the right.
Imported beer from Canada.
We'll lead you to my
Labatt's blue. Yeah.
heaven.
Well, Harry, that was an interesting thought you had. Give all 3 stars to one player. It has happened on Hockey Night in Canada.
It has?
Go back to the radio days. Rocket Richard scored 5 goals in a playoff game against the Toronto Maple Leafs in 1944. And Elmer Ferguson used to pick the 3 stars, Montreal newspaper man. He came up with this idea, so after the game was over, he gave all 3 stars to the Rocket. 1, 2, and 3. I don't think anybody's ever done that since. Maybe the odd guy deserves it. That's not a bad call you made about someone who could be honored that way here tonight.
Bourque's been tremendous in every department.
Neely nearly got loose. Henry Roy comes out of the net. Bruins forechecking. Neely in after Ludwig again. Puck back at the net for Lawler. Here comes Neely. He lines him up. But the puck is cleared out to center ice. 6 minutes to play. Canadians have not had a shot on goal in their last 4 power play chances. Not a shot. There's one from center ice. Lemelin having an easy time of it tonight. He was sensational in Game 2 at the Forum, especially in the first period. Kept the Bruins in there. They went on to win the game by a goal. They're winning this one handily, 3-0, with 5.5 left in the third. That's Burridge down the left side. Bourque up on the play. So is Pleck. Burridge doing a pretty good job on Robinson. He gets it loose in front, and he couldn't quite get a shot away. Bourque will back up. Now feeds it back into the Montreal zone. Burridge going in. Ran into Swoboda. And the play is stopped.
All right, so it's 3-0. Bruins still in control. Meanwhile, in New Jersey, the fisticuffs have broken out. David Maley came in from behind and gave a cheap shot to one of the Washington players. He should be gone for the game. Now with the description from ringside, here's Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito.
Yes, sir. The early fight night was at Boston Garden, and here at the Meadowlands, the fights have broken out. A frustrated Washington Capitals team down by 4. Now, Maley was knocked down in center ice. He was out of it when the fights began. He skated in. Morrell warned him to stay out of it. Maley went skating right in and took a shot at one of the Caps. And you know he'll be gone. I'm sure there'll be a few more players ejected. We've had more players ejected earlier in the game.
Danico and see what happened was they're challenging at the bench right now. What happened was Danico went after Hatcher, and then Maley skated all the way down the ice and started throwing punches at Hatcher while Danico was on top of Hatcher.
absolutely ugly right now. Hatcher is down underneath Maley and may have hit his head on the ice. Now Hatcher gets up. Danico and Stevens have been escorted into the penalty boxes. Danico wants, rather Maley wants Stevens. Stevens opens the door in the penalty box and says, come on. Well, they've forgotten hockey. They've forgotten that this is the playoffs and they're supposed to play.
You see, if they want each other that bad, they should just wait until they come out of the penalty box and they can have each other.
Maley yelling at Stevens. Hatcher will need a new jersey. No pun intended there. Jim Schoenfeld looking on. Boy, as his team played tough. They have not been intimidated at all. They've been challenged to the utmost, and they have responded. And with 15:20 to go in the third period, the Devils are in command.
Volkswagen engineers believe our 16-valve engines should not only provide an abundance of power, but be accompanied by the technology to control it. And that's a belief from which our engineers never walk away. German engineering, the Volkswagen way.
Scott Stevens and Kevin Hatcher, two of the top players on the Washington Capitals, are in the penalty box. With Washington down by 4, the frustration is set in, and the fights have broken out. We are ringside here.
There's got to be guys kicked right out of the game.
Oh, for sure, Maley's got to get a game misconduct.
He's got to get a game misconduct. Let's take a look. There's Hatcher. Maley goes in to hit him. Hatcher gets his stick up, knocks Maley down, and the elbow. And then it went down in that zone, and Danico went after. First, Broughton pushed Hatcher, and then Danico went right in. And then Maley came down into the fight.
Maley was shaken up. He was on his knees in center ice.
So you see Danico, there's number 3. Now watch Maley come in. You'll see him coming in the right side of your screen. Here he comes, and he throws one, and then he starts punching at him. And the poor linesman took the beating.
Man, I told you.
And then Scott Stevens gets in it.
That's the worst job of all. Now the job is for the officials to remember everyone who caused the trouble, and Maley probably was the biggest of all when he joined the fray after Morrell told him to stay away.
Still 15 minutes and 20 seconds left in this third period.
A long night here at the Meadowlands. Well, we thought things would settle down after the game on Wednesday night, but no, it's actually a replay of the game that they played in Game 2 at the Capitol Center. Tomorrow night, back to hockey, I think. Out in Edmonton at the Northlands Coliseum, Game 3. Calgary and Edmonton, with Edmonton leading the series 2-0. Mike Emmerich and Bill Clement will bring you all the action beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Tom Mees, of course, will anchor in the studio. Scott Stevens has been ushered into the Washington locker room. He is finished for the night. Tom, we still have a long way to go here, and you do too at the studio. Let's go back to you right now.
You're darn right there, Sam. And the Boston Bruins still have a ways to go before they lock up win number 2 in the series with Montreal. Loose puck here comes out to Chris Chelios. He blasted at Lemelin. Lemelin makes the save, but Serge Boulvert is there to poke it in. Let's take another look at this. Now there's a screen going on in front. The puck comes loose. Chelios with a blast. Good save as Lemelin closes the pads just in time, but it gets behind the pads, and Serge Boulvert was there to poke it in. So Boston still leads. They're still in command, but now it's 3-1 as the Canadiens avoid a shutout. Meanwhile, at the Meadowlands, Dennis Morrell and his linesmen are having a meeting, and I guess they could write a book down there with all the stuff in the penalty books, huh, Sam?
Well, the lists are growing longer and longer. The penalty minutes are growing in totals. The calculators are out, and they're trying to remember everything. Now the linesman chipping in. Well, this guy did this, and this guy did that.
Well, sometimes too, you got the supervisor up there that they will call if they're not sure they got everybody or they're not sure of something.
ESPN is your place for arena football. Second season of arena football begins April the 30th, 10:30 Eastern time, when the New York Knights take on the Los Angeles Cobras. Start of the 50-yard indoor war, arena football, here on ESPN. April 30th, New York Knights and the Los Angeles Cobras at the LA Sports Arena. Jim Schoenfeld, who turned things around, wound up 17-12 after taking over from Doug Carpenter. And John Van Beesbrook, our resident scout, has some thoughts on Jim Schoenfeld. He played against Jim Schoenfeld and his team this season, and certainly was able to see the difference on the ice between the New Jersey Devils under Doug Carpenter and the Devils under Jim Schoenfeld.
Well, he doesn't look very happy.
Scouting report from him, but right now, Jim Schoenfeld a little upset with things, and both coaches not happy with the way the penalty situations are unfolding. You can see the frustration. I guess Jim Schoenfeld says, come on, let's get it over with and let's play it out. And I guess that's got to be the feeling on Brian Murray's part as well. Now we want to go to John Van Beesbrook for his thoughts about Jim Schoenfeld and his coaching work for the New Jersey Devils.
Jim Schoenfeld has brought the spark to the Devils that they have needed down the stretch, and that has enabled them to make the playoffs. He's kept the older players ready and the young players sharp. And the experience that they have gained while Jim Schoenfeld has been coached has led up to one word, and that's success.
Well, he said it all there, and he is right. It has been success. And Jim Schoenfeld has been very successful. You know, when we were looking for coaches and all that, I mean, we're very happy with Michel Bergeron. His name was brought up quite a bit at the meetings that we had with our staff and our scouts and everything else. And the thing was that I wanted more of a guy that had a lot of more experience, and that's why Schoenfeld was passed over. And there were two other teams that I'm not allowed to say right now, Sam, but we're also thinking the same thing. And Lou Lamoriello took a chance on them, and Jimmy has done a good job for this team in the last half of the season.
He was settled down in Buffalo, playing some golf, and Lou Lamoriello made the call.
Golf in Buffalo in January?
Well, the coaches not too happy with the long delay. The penalties being announced. Right now, Tom Eaves is standing by. Tom?
All right, it's almost like a rain delay in baseball, isn't it? I agree with Phil. Golf in Buffalo in January, we have to explain that one somewhere along the line. Well, let's take a look at our road to the Cup, where it takes us on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Tomorrow night, we'll be in the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton, Alberta, 8 o'clock Eastern. That's 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. Game 3 of the Smythe Division Finals. Look at that. The Oilers lead the series 2-0, having won the first 2 games in Calgary. They're definitely in the driver's seat. Sunday, we'll be at the Boston Garden for Game 4 of the Adams Division Final. And the Bruins now are on the verge of winning tonight's Game 3, so they should have a 2-1 advantage in that series. And Monday night, we'll be back at Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. The Oilers and Calgary Flames. Note the start time Monday night, a little bit later, 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific time. That'll be Game 4 of the Smythe Division Finals. Well, have they got all the penalties figured out in New Jersey or what? No, I'm afraid not. Here once again, Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito.
They're still talking. The penalty minute totals are up to 133 minutes unofficially. 51 minutes have just been handed out here at 4:40. We still have 15-20 to go in this third period. Stevens, 2 minutes for roughing, 5 for fighting, 10-minute misconduct. He's gone. Hatcher, 5 minutes for fighting. I guess he gets 2 5-minute majors for fighting. Danico, 2 for roughing, 5 for fighting. Maley, 2 for roughing, 5 for fighting, and a 10-minute misconduct. And that's it. Now, what winds up on the board is a 5-minute major for Washington and a 2-minute minor for the Devils. So eventually the Devils are going to wind up with a 3-minute power play advantage for the full 3 minutes. Well, we're trying to figure it out. Tom, can you figure it out?
No, I really can't figure it out, Sam, but I can figure out what's going on at Boston Garden. 30 seconds left in regulation time. Bruins leading the Canadiens 3-1, trying to take a 2-1 lead in the series. Here's Bob Cole.
The Boston Garden, this is Bob Cole with Harry Neal and Dick Irvin winding this one down. Only 25 seconds left in regulation time. The Canadiens have a goal in this third. That's about all, though. The Bruins have 3 of them over the night. So it's 3-1 Boston with only 15 seconds left. And the Bruins, a strong forechecking game, well, strong in all departments, are in after the Canadiens again in 14,451. A sellout of the Garden are standing and cheering their Boston Bruins. They have taken the 2-1 lead in the series, defeating the Canadiens 3-1 tonight.
You know, Harry, the other night.
All right, so the final is in. Bruins 3, Canadiens 1. Could the upset be brewing? Pun intended. We'll find out Sunday as we'll be visiting Boston Garden. By the way, Chelio's got the Montreal goal. They changed the scoring. Let's go back to New Jersey. Sam and Phil.
We're playing hockey again. Trust me. By the way, it was a game misconduct to Maley, not a 10-minute misconduct. They're skating 4 aside. New Jersey leading 8-4. 14:30 to go in the third period. Earlier in the game, Greg Smith got a match penalty, as did the Devils' Brendan Shanahan for intent to injure. Glove save made by Burke, and he holds on. What do you think Game 4 will be like now, Phil? We've seen all this rough stuff and the fighting in Games 2 and 3. What will Game 4 be like? Will they get back to playing hockey again?
They're going to have to. Washington, in my estimation, can't afford to do this. They're behind, and they've got to go out and play hockey. They've got a lot of guys that can put the puck in the net. As Mike Gartner, watch his quick snapshot, and Sean Burke makes a good glove save. But Washington do have a lot of guys that can put the puck in the net, and I think they got to go back to playing hockey. Simple. And if they don't, I don't see much change. But the Devils are on a roll right now. Like I said, they got mad.
For those fans who are watching the Boston-Montreal game, welcome to the Meadowlands Arena. Mike Gartner has the puck for Washington. Sam Rosen and Phil Esposito here at the Meadowlands, with New Jersey leading Washington 8-4. 14 minutes to go in the third period. Teams are skating 4 aside. Devils will go on the power play in 35 seconds. Well, they won't. Penalty has been called on the Devils. Tom Curvers goes off. Tripping is the call. 6:06 the time of the penalty. So the Devils would have gone on a power play in 35 seconds for
Let's take a look at it. Watch, he goes through the middle, Gartner, and Curvers gets the stick in the way and upends him. And 2 minutes for a trippy.
This has been a long, drawn-out game, full of penalties. Again, they had 162 minutes of penalties in Game 2 on Wednesday night. Unofficially, we have 133 minutes tonight.
Well, obviously, the 2 games that were full of penalties, they lost. Well, they're losing this 8-4. And the game that was strictly hockey, they won. So I would say that they should go back to hockey.
Washington won Game 1 3-1. I would think they just got to get more discipline. Washington power play 4-on-3 skating advantage here. Hunter centers. It's deflected. Pavanka couldn't handle it. Patrick Sundstrom, who's had an outstanding game with 2 goals and 4 assists, plus some excellent penalty killing, clearing it down the ice. Caps are 1 for 6 on the power play. Coming in, Murphy takes it around the net. Murphy controls, centers, and Belichick is there. Clears it. Back on the ice. It's now a 4-on-4 as one of the minors is over to the Devils. Beek is on with Sundstrom. That shot getting through, and Burke steering it aside. New Jersey led 2-1 out of the first period on 2 power play goals by Mark Johnson. Johnson has a hat trick in the game. Dave Christian had scored for Washington. And then the second period, the Devils scored 5 goals. Washington scored 3. And with 7-4 and with 1 goal here in the third period. The Johnson hat-trick goal. Grant Ledyard with the puck. Team skating 4 aside. Devils will go on the power play in 35 seconds. Offside, Washington. Shots on goal, Washington 28. New Jersey 24. It doesn't really matter. The goaltending for Washington has not been good. They started Clint Malarchuk. He left in the second period with a score of 4-1 New Jersey and came back to start the third period with a score of 7-4 for New Jersey. There you see it's now 135 penalty minutes called tonight. 23 penalties on New Jersey, 20 on Washington.
Well, that's right. And when Peters went in the net, the Capitals made a bit of a comeback and had it 5-4. But the Devils don't quit.
Claude Loisel takes it away. Moving down one-on-one against Ledyard. Ledyard stays with him, pokes the puck. Loisel moves it around. The show NCAA, a season of upsets, scheduled for 10:30 Eastern Time, will be seen following tonight's hockey game. Malarchuk clears that puck aside. The other thing Brian Murray has to do is make a choice of goaltenders for Game 4. Neither man has played well tonight. He's got Sean Simpson from juniors up. Maybe he'll play him. Sean Simpson, who played at Sault Ste. Marie.
Had a good year there, too.
Here's Wolanin. Around the boards it goes. Devils on the power play. Minute 12 seconds to go on the man advantage. Johnson moves it ahead for Driver. Johnson, Sundstrom, and McLean on for New Jersey. But the giveaway is to Ridley, and he comes out with Peter Sundstrom. Gustafson, Ridley, Peter Sundstrom, and Gary Gallion. Only one defenseman on for Washington, because they've got Hatcher in the penalty box. Smith and Stevens are gone for the game. Curvers finds McLean. This is Sundstrom. Now Johnson, he scores! Mark Johnson! It's a power play goal, and New Jersey leads 9-4. Johnson's 4th goal of the game.
You know, I drive my players on the New York Rangers crazy for holding their stick upside down on their bench. Murphy jumps on the ice. The stick is upside down. He has to turn it around. If it's the right side, he gets the puck. By the time he gets back in the play, it's too late. Let's take a look. Now watch Murphy's stick. Look at it. It's upside down. And he couldn't get the puck because he's sitting on the bench with it upside down.
It's a little thing like that, huh?
A little thing like that. A little thing like that. Here's another look at it. Look at it. Those little things, I always tell the players, look, you guys, that may be only a split second, but that could cost a goal, and bango, it just did.
What a night for Mark Johnson. 4 goals for Mark Johnson, 3 on the power play, and the Devils lead 9-4.
And number 15, John McLean. The time of the goal is
John McLean got 1 assist.
That's Johnson is 8. 4th of the
and Sundstrom gets an assist. That gives him 7 points, tying the NHL record for points in a game, tying the record held by Wayne Gretzky, who done it twice. And they're making that announcement now on Sundstrom when you hear the roar. Here comes Herbers. Conacher. It's still a power play because of the major penalty to the Caps. And there's the roar on the announcement of Sundstrom. 7 points in the game. And a penalty call by Dennis Morrell.
Broughton's going to go.
It's on the Devils, who now are at full strength. And that shot is gloved by Burke. And the Caps will get a power play. With 10:13 to go in this third period, New Jersey leading 9-4. Caps are looking like the Baltimore Orioles tonight.
Well, they're having their troubles tonight. There's no doubt about it. They started off badly, though.
Broughton goes into the penalty box, and the Caps will go on a power play when we come back. New Jersey leading 9-4.
It tastes just like Gatorade. It's the perfect soft drink.
For an imperfect world.
1 calorie, just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
Aaron Broughton gets 2 minutes for slashing at 9:47. Cap's 7th power play of the game. They're 1 for 6. A little later on, we'll be announcing the Hartford Insurance Player of the Game. Might be players of the game, I think.
The way things are going.
Johnson and Sundstrom have put together outstanding nights. And Tom Mees will also have the 7-up play of the night. And we promise you it won't be any of the fights that you saw.
Now we got Dale Hunter going out for slashing. And he also gets an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
And that should finish him for the night.
I don't think it's a 10-minute misconduct. It might be, though. You're right. Let's see. He's still in the box, so it's not a 10-minute misconduct. Yep, it is. No, it isn't.
Well, first,
look at Brian Murray.
Yeah, they're telling Hunter, that's it. You're finished.
The penalty.
Look at that. That says it all right there.
Hunter also gives Morrell the choke sign as he skates by. And you know officials don't like to be shown up. Now Morrell may
going back there.
Something else.
And he's probably going to give him something else, like a match misconduct.
Might give him a game misconduct.
A game misconduct, yeah.
There goes Hunter into the locker room. The word from
2 minutes on sportsmanlike and a game misconduct.
2 minutes slashing, 2 minutes unsportsmanlike, and a game misconduct for Dale Hunter at 9:57. Word from the New Jersey locker room on Kirk Muller is that he suffered a hematoma on the right bicep, and the swelling is causing pressure on the nerve, and he can't move his right arm. And he is questionable for Sunday's 4th game. He'll be reevaluated when the swelling subsides. Scott Stevens suffered a laceration on the left thumb. He is okay. Anders Carlson suffered a hip pointer on the right hip and gone for the game. You saw the close-up of Patrick Sundstrom. What a night he's had. 2 goals and 5 assists for Patrick Sundstrom. 4 goals in the game for Mark Johnson. So Sundstrom has really stepped up, as has Johnson, with Kirk Muller out of the game.
Absolutely, boy. They just took charge. And you got to give them a lot of credit. Patrick Sundstrom is playing as good a hockey game as I've seen anyone play this year, for sure.
1:49 left in Broughton's penalty. 4 minutes on the board on the double minors to Hunter. So eventually the Devils will wind up with a power play advantage for 2 minutes 11 seconds. Right now skating far side. Sorella shot gloved by Malarchuk. He reached back for that one. Otherwise, it would have been double figures for the Devils.
You know, the Devils have so many guys that can win faceoffs for them that it really is a help. Now they've got Pat Conacher out there who plays left wing, but I know he's a centerman, and he just won that faceoff cleanly right back to Joe Sorella.
Pat Conacher. Coming into this season, he had played a total of 69 regular season games in the NHL. The Devils brought him. Jim Schoenfeld brought him to New Jersey when they had some injuries. He played 24 games in the regular season. And he's one of those scrappy little players, a role player. He'll do anything for you.
He just wants to win, and he'll do anything it takes to win.
Galley with the puck to Larry Murphy. Verbeek chasing Murphy. There's Pavanka chased by Sorella. Caps will need to regroup after this one. Taken away by Belichick. Verbeek all over Murphy. Devils still working the boards well.
The one thing, Sam, that Brian Murray does not want to see. He certainly doesn't want to see any of his players quit.
Penalty upcoming on the Devils. Delayed penalty. Pavanka knocked down by Sorella. And the whistle stops play. So it would have been a New Jersey power play in 45 seconds. Turns into a Washington power play right now. Verbeek goes off. 8:58 remaining. Third period. Devils with a big 5-goal lead.
When we're
Boston Bruins have a 2-1 lead on the Montreal Canadiens, and the Adams Division Final will be in Boston Sunday night for Game 4. Join us then. Right here, Washington.
Yeah, Ledger's on the power play by lack of anybody else.
By default, huh?
Yeah, and I think that he'll do well in that, too.
Ledger gets there. It's a 4-on-3 advantage. Devils get a man back in 22 seconds. Ledger to Ridley. Gardner whacked at by Wolanin in front. Gustafson has the puck. Back pass. Ledger moves it to Ridley. There's Sundstrom. What a game he's had, and he blocks that shot. Gardner for Ridley.
Notice how everything's on the perimeter outside.
Here comes Gardner. Pass blocked. That shot by Ridley. Smothered by Burke in the crease. And the power play is over. They'll be skating 4 aside. Verbeek remains off for 1:11, and eventually the Devils will wind up with a man advantage for just a little under a minute, 56 seconds to be exact, after the double minors that were issued to Dale Hunter. Patrick Sundstrom goes off. Jim Schoenfeld talking with some of the Devils and asking them what was the difference that Schoenfeld made in their confidence. And they said under Doug Carpenter the feeling was, well, if we work hard, we'll make the playoffs. And under Jim Schoenfeld, if we work hard, we might win the Stanley Cup.
Well, that was one. The other thing I heard was like communication. You know, like Dougie Carpenter had guys he would talk to, and Schoenfeld talks to everybody, I guess, and has good communication.
That shot was deflected by Brown, and a good play, good concentration on the part of Sean Burke to make the glove save. In the second period, Burke had trouble with the glove.
Sure did.
And this handled 2 shots. One went in the net. 151 minutes in penalties handed out tonight.
Okay, watch Murphy goes over to Galley. Galley just gives it a quick shot. Brown deflects it up in the air, and Burke sees it all the way. And that's a credit to the Devil defensemen, too. They keep everybody out in that front of that slot so Burke can see the puck.
8:03 to go, third period. New Jersey leading 9-4. Pavanka's shot was blocked by Sorella. Skating 4 aside. Sorella waits and plays it around to Randy Belichick. Devils have been without Kirk Muller since the first period. Out with a bruised bicep on the right arm. And of course, the Caps without their star defenseman. Boy, that was a hard hit. Murphy and Belichick ramming each other. Pavanka comes out against Sorella. Pokes it away. Galley moves in. Feeds Pavanka. The shot blocked. And here comes Brown with Murphy back. Brown is joined by Sorella 2-on-1. Brown shoots. Save made by Malarchuk. Clint Malarchuk has given up 5 goals tonight. Pete Peters was touched for 4. Excuse me. Peters touched for 3. Malarchuk 6. Malarchuk came back with a score of 7-4. He's given up 2 in the third period. McLean with a rush on the Verbeek. Ledger trying to break it up. McLean's shot is high and wide. Driver looks, deflects across. Kurvers feeds Paneker. Shot stick to side. Verbeek's rebound is stopped.
Good stop.
Devils keep going for more.
They don't give up. There's 35 seconds left on the power play.
They have the man advantage. 30 seconds now left. 6.5 minutes to go in the third period. Verbeek was in the zone offside New Jersey. 9-4. New Jersey leading it. They have 3 power play goals scored by Mark Johnson.
Boy, they just don't stop. They keep on going, and they just keep on peppering. Wow. The most.
It's been quite a night. They waited for the playoffs to explode.
You know what will happen now next game if they don't score, like they only get 1 or something? People will say, yeah, I know. Why didn't they save some?
That's right.
Like you could save some. It'll be in the paper. They should have saved some.
Have to admire the way a couple of players have really stepped up. Good save by Malarchuk. Johnson for 1 with his veteran leadership. and Patrick Sundstrom. A lot of people have criticized that trade. Greg Adams going to Vancouver and having a 40-goal season there. Kirk McLean, a goaltender as well, going to Vancouver. But Patrick Sundstrom has really come through for the Devils late in the season and in the playoffs. Teams are back at full strength. 5:50 to go in the game. And here come the Devils looking for more. Sundstrom comes in. Score! How do you like that?
He broke Gretzky's record.
Patrick Sundstrom, it's a hat trick and 8 points in the game.
Right between the legs of Flip Malarchuk again. Watch this. It's a simple backhand. Goes around the outside. Leans. Look how he's leaning. And he just puts a nice backhand. It's a second backhand. Into the net. Right between the legs. Look at him look up. I love this. Look at this angle. This is a good shot. Look at him look. He knows where he's going with it right now. And it goes right between the legs. There's no room on the other side. So he just shot it at the pads and it goes in.
Put the name Patrick Sundstrom in the NHL record books. Most points scored in a Stanley Cup playoff game. Patrick Sundstrom has 8.
Well, that's unbelievable.
3 goals and 5 assists, and he gets a standing ovation.
And even Esposito is applauding that one. You gotta applaud a guy that gets 8 points in a hockey game, I'll tell you that.
Wow.
In a playoff game,
it's 10-4 New Jersey.
And they don't stop, and there they go again.
Doug Brown. Oh, we've got something going in front of the penalty boxes.
Greenlaw and Loisel. Here Murphy now pushing with somebody.
Conacher and then Wolanin.
Well, the one that you gotta watch is that one, 24 Greenlaw. You can see him, and that's Danico. You can see them pushing. They're rumbling there. There's number 3, Danico. Those 2 guys are 2 tough guys.
No one's backing off here. Conacher and Murphy have squared off. What a night. The goal for Patrick Sundstrom is 3rd of the game, is 6th of the playoffs at 14-14. Danico got the assist, and for Danico, that's 4 assists in the game. So he's had a splendid night. As the get-together continues, and they're not talking about where to go after the game is over for dinner.
There's Greenlaw and Danico again. Somebody's going to throw one and it's going to break.
I hope not.
It's going to. I'm telling you.
I think
unless Morrell can stop them from going.
I think it's time to play out the string here and go on to the next game.
If Morrell backs up right now, they're going to go at it. But he's keeping them pretty well separated.
I think they ought to get the 5:39 over with and go on to the next game and get back to some hockey. Forget the fighting. Greenlaw still wants to get back at Danico. Outside of Sundstrom and Johnson, the best people on the ice have been the linesmen. They've had to work the hardest. 5:39 to go in the game. New Jersey 10, Washington 4.
At Volkswagen, our engineers believe car and driver should not merely act, but interact. To them, a Volkswagen isn't a vehicle for the driver, but rather an extension of the driver. Our engineers believe the most important moving part of a Volkswagen is the one behind the wheel. 1988 Jetta, only $91.95.
More penalty minutes. So they had 162 on Wednesday night, and we're going to go over that total, I believe, tonight after these penalties are handed out. We have about, I believe, 151 is where I last lost count.
Is that what it is?
I ran out of fingers and toes. Oh, man. What a night. on a night when Patrick Sundstrom has set a National Hockey League record with 8 points, 3 goals, and 5 assists. Mark Johnson has scored 4 goals. There has been some hockey played here. Now, I think Washington has got to look at a couple of things for goaltenders. They could use Sean Simpson out of juniors. Yeah. They could use their goalie coach, Warren Strelo. Their goaltending has not been good tonight. It's been awful.
I think you're going to see Pete Peters back in the net.
Yeah.
I don't think that they can afford to put a rookie in. And Pete Peters will be the guy. I mean, he's carried them over the Philadelphia Flyers in that series.
With all that's gone on, with all the interruptions, the Devils have still maintained their focus on the game, and they have blown away the Washington Capitals.
They sure have.
When it was 4-1, they came back to 4-3 and 5-4. Now here's Sundstrom and the record breaker.
This is no, I believe this is the play of the game, or okay, this is the record breaker, Sam. I'm sorry, and we'll see Sundstrom. Now Danico picks the puck up here, gives it to Sundstrom. I like the eyes. Look how he's looking. He knows where he's going with it. His hands are close together on the backhand, so he didn't have a lot of steam on that shot, but it went right between the legs of Malarchuk. The hardest thing for a goaltender is when you're going out to keep those pads together and to move your feet laterally.
We've had a multitude of interruptions tonight, and there's one more for penalties. We'll be right back. 5:39 to go.
Campbell's Paint and Wallpaper of Dearborn is having an anniversary sale. We're located at 904 Mason, just north of Michigan Avenue. At Campbell's Paint and Wallpaper, we've been serving our customers since 1948. Campbell's features fuller paints, a wide variety of wallpaper, and picture frames. With 40 years of experience, we know how to make redecorating affordable. So celebrate with savings, and remember, Campbell's Paint always matches.
You're in need of a lawyer. You need legal counsel you can rely on and afford. Attorney Noel Keene offers 16 years of legal service in the Dearborn area. Noel Keene and his staff are ready to assist you in collecting benefits due to an injury or illness, traffic and criminal cases, matters of probate, preparation of a will, obtaining a divorce or child support, and they'll be there when you close on your new home. When you need legal advice, call Attorney Noel Keene at 278-8775. Your initial consultation is free.
Presumed that the Caps are on the power play. They're 1 for 7 on the power play in the game. Christian with the puck. 4:45 to go in the game. Devils leading 10-4 and clear all the way down. Oh, and Malarchuk came out and put the shoulder into Mark Johnson. That's going to be a penalty. It's on Malarchuk for interference. Malarchuk came out of the crease as Johnson was chasing and lowered the shoulder into Mark Johnson.
Well, let's take a look at this.
Penalty.
Here he comes. He's coming in, and there's Malarchuk. He nailed him.
And that wipes out the power play.
There's 55 seconds left on the penalty to Loisel. And now Malarchuk goes in the penalty box.
We are totaling up the penalty minutes. The record for penalty minutes in a Stanley Cup game, 267. Malarchuk here is called for interference at 15:26.
The Washington penalty.
Well, let's see. Johnson's out there. Is Sundstrom going back out there? No, he's got Broughton and Johnson.
Driver and Curvers.
That's right.
Sundstrom was out there moments ago and sent in Doug Brown.
They'll have a 1 and 5 second power play. Sundstrom will be back out there, and he's hot. And when you get this hot, you're liable to get another one.
Johnson is out there, and he scored 4 goals.
That's right.
Curvers and Broughton. Ridley takes it away. Kelly Miller. Now, Phil, if you're a player and there's Ledger deflecting it on goal, Burke stops it. If you're a player who really isn't a fighter, there are some players out there who don't get involved in that. What is your feeling about all this going on around you?
Well, if the game was closer, you'd say, oh boy, I get to play a lot more. if the game is like this, you're just going, what's going on?
Hatcher's shot stopped. Here comes Ridley. Burke gets the stick on that pass, and Broughton gets the puck.
And it's hard, you know, you say, what's going on around here? Let's get this game over with.
The penalty minute total is 197. 70 short of the NHL Stanley Cup playoff record. And who knows? We still have 3.5 minutes to go. Anything could happen. Devils on the power play. 50 seconds to go on the man advantage. 5-on-4 advantage for New Jersey. Lou Franciscetti gets out with the puck. Belichick wrestles him down. Penalty called. Well, we may get to that 200 mark. We're at 199. 3:15 to go in the game, and the penalty called. Coming up next, following the conclusion of this game, NCAA basketball special.
Here's the replay, and Franciscetti just gets grabbed by Belichick, and he goes now for a penalty.
That show, the NCAA basketball special, will be seen in its entirety, followed by Sports Center, and they'll be talking about the Baltimore Orioles and yet another loss. Now, tomorrow night, we hope to have more hockey for you. Less fighting, more hockey. Game 3 of the Smythe Division Final, with Edmonton leading 2-0. Mike Emmerich and Bill Clement will bring you the action from the Northlands Coliseum Sunday night from the Boston Garden. Phil and I will be there to bring you Game 4, Boston and Montreal. Boston winning Game 3, 3-1, and taking a 2-1 lead in that series. Belichick for holding at 16:45. 199 minutes and penalties in tonight's game. 3 minutes to go in the game. Caps will go on a power play in 22 seconds. Gardner with Wolanin right on him. Wolanin takes him down. Hatcher and Broughton. Sundstrom gets it loose to Wolanin. Sundstrom on the left side now trails the play. Wolanin gets a shot off that's wide. And extra man on for the Caps. They're on the power play. Officially their 8th of the game. Maybe their 9th. I think they might have lost track of one. That got cut short. Christian's got the puck. Center saved by Burke. Rebound wide by Peter Sundstrom. 2:15 to go in the game. 10-4, New Jersey leading it. And if you've stayed with us, we appreciate you staying with us. Absolutely. Throughout this game. It's been a long one. It's been a wild one. There's been the good, the bad, and the ugly. Up and out of the rink goes that clearing attempt.
You know, one of the things that I've noticed is really how the defensive errors that the Washington Capitals have made in their own zone. They have made more errors, mental errors, and defensive errors than I've seen in a long time.
And that's where they miss Langway. Yeah. Langway, just his presence, he plays so much, is such a steadying influence on defense for them.
Absolutely. That's absolute truth. He is a super defenseman. There's no doubt about that.
Ryan Murray has to be very concerned. He'll have to do a lot of maneuvering.
I think we're breaking down this game film. When he and his coaches do, they may just say, hey, the heck with this. Let's get a film that we played really great on or in and show the boys that rather than watch this. Sometimes that works better.
You know, just from, it's one man's opinion, but I just feel that the Caps have got to regain their sights and their focus on what it takes to win. And I think their approach in the last 2 games has been all wrong. And it's proven that way by the Devils winning 5-2 and now leading 10-4 with 1.5 minutes to go in the game. And the Devils have an extra man on here for 12 seconds. Excuse me, the Caps have the extra man on. The Devils 5 seconds to go on Belichick's penalty. And that's it. Teams are at full strength. 1:10 to go in the game. Ridley. Blocked by Broughton. Doug Brown.
This is the last minute
Set up for Verbeek.
1 minute.
Off the stick of Broughton. Now Brown, saved by Malarchuk, and he's run into by Broughton. And then he slammed down. Was it Verbeek?
Yeah, Verbeek just ran into him, but he may have been shoved in there. I don't know, but Malarchuk didn't like that one. Verbeek is down. Let's take a look at it. Watch. There's Broughton, but watch the left side of your screen. Here comes Verbeek right now, and he's hammered by Galley, I see. And Malarchuk swings at him, misses him, and Galley goes down on top of him.
Now we know Verbeek likes to get involved. That time it wasn't his fault, but he is being sent off. More penalties. Get out your calculators.
Verbeek and Galley will both go.
We're at 199 and counting. 52 seconds to go in the game. Game 4 here at the Meadowlands on Sunday night. And of course, while we're in Boston, Tom Mees will keep you up to date on all that's going on in Game 4 of this series. Tomorrow night, Calgary at Edmonton, Game 3. Sunday night, Boston at Boston home against Montreal, Game 4 of the Adams Division Final. Monday night, Calgary at Edmonton, Game 4. Jim Schoenfeld can smile because his Devils have picked up a huge win, taking a 2-1 lead in this series. Francis Getty. 35 seconds to go. A lot of the fans have gone home from this 19,000 plus on hand, a sellout crowd. And the Devils have sold out the rest of the games in this round, and if they go on to the next round, they're all sold out. Hatcher moves in, a shot deflected into the crowd. Play stopped with 16 seconds to go in the game.
And that really helps the franchise here. Like I said before, Mr. McMullen and Lou Lamoriello and Jim Schoenfeld all deserve a lot of credit, including Dougie Carpenter, who started this team off, and Max McNabb.
Phil, I've said this very often. I always felt that one day we would wake up and the New Jersey Devils will have grown together as a team, and they would be a contender. They've grown together a little sooner than I expected and that a lot of other people expected.
Well, that's true. Well, I don't know whether that's exactly true, Sam. I mean, it's been 6-7 years that they've been all together almost.
That's what I mean. They've been coming together.
But you think sooner than you expected?
Well, this season, I didn't expect them to they're a Stanley Cup contender. The way this team is playing now, this team has a chance to win.
At training camp, the talk was, and all of this, you know, and you go to the general managers meetings, everybody knew that in the Patrick division there would be a dogfight for first to last, and that included the Devils, and nobody, at least in the Patrick division, took the Devils lightly.
The Devils win. They lead the series 2-1. Well, it took a long time from the time they dropped the puck at about 7:45 Eastern time. 3.5 hours later, the teams head to the locker rooms. But it's the Devils. Through all the melees and fisticuffs, it was some fine efforts by two outstanding players, Mark Johnson, who scored 4 goals, and Patrick Sundstrom with a record 8 points in the game. Mark Johnson, the Hartford Insurance co-player of the game. He had 4 goals, 3 power play goals. And he shares the honor with Patrick Sundstrom, who set a National Hockey League playoff record with 8 points in the game, 3 goals, and 5 assists. And our play of the game, Phil?
Well, here's the goal. He pulled away from Scott Stevens. He comes in, he shoots it, bounces right off the blocker of Pete Peterson, and then is he happy about that?
That's it. From the Meadowlands, we'll be back. Final score, New Jersey wins it 10-4.
At his last tune-up, Jim McGill forgot to change something very important, his engine belts. After 4 years, belts can break anytime. So don't take chances. Next tune-up, get Gates belts. More mechanics install Gates and more people rely on them than any other belt made. Remember, if your car's 4 years old, get Gates before it's too late.
Love in the 90s. It might be better than you think.
I have a spot of Harvey used to living, talking all night. I have a spot of Harvey used to create. No, Mr. Right. Harvey's Bristol cream.
It's terrible, terrible.
Very, very.
Upper, upper.
Like it rusty.
Upper crusty.
Harvey, chérie?
Your palace, or mine.
Super Bowl champions are built on draft day. Coverage of the 1988 NFL Draft begins Sunday at noon Eastern, live on ESPN.
Well, finally, 3.5 hours after it began, the long day's journey in tonight is complete. At the Meadowlands in New Jersey, over 19,000 now filing their way out, and they have to be happy because they're all wearing New Jersey Devil paraphernalia. The Devils gave the Washington Capitals the Devil tonight, 10-4. And the other action on the road to the Cup tonight seems like a couple hours ago, but it wasn't that long ago that the final horn went off at the Boston Garden, and the Boston Bruins beat the Montreal Canadiens 3-1 to lead the Adams Division Finals 2-1. The 10-4 victory by New Jersey gives the Devils a 2-1 lead in the Patrick Division Final. And when we return on Road to the Cup, we'll update you on our plans for Saturday and on through next Monday as the Road to the Cup, Night 12, nears a close.
He was a local boy. He was one of ours. That night we were down at John's bar, cheering, drinking Rolling Rock, and Billy was doing beautiful. And then in the 13th round, Lewis strode a right. Oh, it broke your heart. More than 100 pretty girls ever could. Billy Corn was our hero then, and he's still our hero today. Here's to you, Billy.
If people really like the taste of fried burgers, how come there aren't backyard frying pans instead of backyard barbecues? Think about it. Over a juicy flame-broiled Whopper.
We do it like you do it when we do it like we do it at Burger King.
Presenting the G-Shock watch from Casio. The water-resistant sports watch that's ready for action. With a built-in shock absorber. It's tough. So tough. This G-Shock can take a slap in the face and not even flinch. The Casio G-Shock, one tough watch to beat. The G-Shock is only one of Casio's unbeatable high-tech products.
I'm even jazzier in my BVDs.
Hey, I drive even faster in my BVDs.
I'm more intimidating in my BVDs.
BVD brand underwear. Whatever you do, that extra comfort helps you do it better.
I became a TV heartthrob in my BVDs.
America, do it better. Do it in your BVDs.
At my age, I've done just about everything in my BVDs.
No big deal. Tune-ups? It's MasterCare Car Service. Great tune-ups with a computer that talks to your car.
Finally, taking care of your car is no big deal. MasterCare Car Service by Firestone.
I thought they just sold tires.
Our final score tonight from the Meadowlands in New Jersey. The New Jersey Devils overwhelming the Washington Capitals 10-4 to take a 2-1 lead in the Patrick Division Final Series. And the road to the Cup continues tomorrow night live on ESPN from the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. It's Game 3 of the Smythe Division Final. The Calgary Flames trailing the Edmonton Oilers 2-0. This one could be the crusher should Edmonton prevail, but look out for Calgary. And then on Sunday, we'll be at the Boston Garden for Game 4 of the Adams Division Final. Boston Bruins lead that series now 2-1 over the favorite Montreal Canadiens. For Sam Rosen, for Phil Esposito, for everyone on Road to the Cup, I'm Tom Mees. We'll see you tomorrow night as ESPN continues the Road to the Cup.